Marcel?
Still watching the mess in Canada.
That's awesome. Which lap are we on?
57.
Awesome. What's up, Joel?
All good.
Welcome, Joel. I think this is the first time you're joining Track
Yes,
Help.
first time.
Awesome. When did you join the academy?
I'm not quite sure.
Recently, or I think it was a few months back.
It was like 1-2 months ago.
Awesome. Well, welcome. This is our weekly discussion, which we do. I know already you've submitted some footage of yours, and we hope to review that with you today. What we're going to do, just wait for the few more people to join in, and then we can just make a plan of how we can go through the different footage. I know, Salman, you wanted to go first. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Salman, how was your session last week? Did you do any driving?
No, tomorrow I will go.
Tomorrow you're going to go. So since we spoke, you have not been to the track?
Yeah.
Awesome. So what was it that you wanted to discuss in particular?
I need to know where should I brake and how would I brake?
Where should you brake and how should you brake? That's a very that's a very good question. As I'm just trying to put this into full screen. Give me 1 second. 11. There we go. That is not a problem. We can help you out with that. We've also got Joel's footage and Marcel as well, who's submitted some. So what we're gonna do, guys, let's go through Salman first. I know it's a bit late for him as well. And then we'll go on to Joel, and we'll move on to Marcel. And anyone who joins after that, they can go next. What I'm gonna do, Salman, to get started with your queries, let's open up a track map. And it's Muscat Speedway, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Let's share my screen. And let's just check the chat as well before we do that. What's up, Barry T? Barry T Racing. Welcome. Let's click on entire screen, share, satellite. There we go. All right. Now, currently, Salman,
Yes.
which corners are you braking at? Let's say this is turn 1, then you have 2, 3, 4, like etc. Because it's this half layout you're using, right? So specifically, where are you currently braking?
A little brake at turn 2 and 3.
Turn 2, turn 3, okay.
And 5 and 6 and 7.
4, so 5.
Not
6.
here. 6 and 7 and 8, I mean.
So 6 is here, this one?
Yeah.
Then for 7, you're braking?
Yeah.
And then for 8 as well?
Yeah.
This one. Awesome. Any other ones?
The last one.
Okay, so this is the final corner. That looks good. Just give me 1 sec. I need to pin a comment before we proceed. Just give me 1 moment. Boom. Let me just pin this comment. All right. Done. Looking at your track and having driven there, having driven that exact layout, actually, I'm going to highlight some of the points where I normally brake, and then we'll go over the technique that we can use for braking. Let's just admit Stevie. Hello, welcome, Stevie. Hope you can hear us.
Yes, I can hear you.
Welcome. We're just going through Salman's footage, and then we'll hopefully come to yours after. So Salman, I like to brake at turn 2.
Yeah.
You're carrying a lot of speed and you're going uphill actually. This is a bit of a banked corner as well, I have to say. I only brake for turn 2 though. So I only brake over here. I'm gonna put in yellow. Or actually let's put it in pink so it looks a bit more clear. Brake over here before the corner. You can get through turn 3 flat. The next one I'll probably have to brake for turn 4. Turn 4 is the first hairpin. Reason we brake here is to slow it down so we can take turn 5 flat. We want to take turn 5 flat. Then we can take 6 flat, no problem. But 7, you have to brake.
Yeah.
It's a sharp hairpin turn. Let's just put another marker down there. You have to brake early over here. You continue the corner, flat over here, and flat through the left as well. So this sequence, it's easy to go flat, except for this corner, the very tight hairpin. You have to brake over here.
Yeah.
Already we're 1, 2, 3, 4 braking points. Onto the final corner, so that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So turn 10 is probably the heaviest braking point. You're carrying the most amount of speed over here. It's a typical hairpin turn.
Yeah.
So looking at that, I think the key is brake for corners which you carry lots of speed to. So turn 2, turn 10, you carry a lot of speed. But the technical corners in the middle, these you're braking to get a better exit from. The reason we brake for turn 4 over here, the first hairpin, is in order to get a good exit heading onto turn 5, which you should take flat. Same thing goes for turn 7. You brake over here to get the best possible exit towards the next hairpin turn, which is obviously where you have to brake. For this one, same thing as we discussed last week. Get on the brakes early and try and accelerate through the corner. You got a long straight coming up. This will really decide your exit.
Yeah.
So by looking at this, are there any new places that you're braking, or generally
No, generally is here, but actually, should I use hard brake or?
Yeah,
and,
great question.
How would
I would say generally you want to be braking hard for a short period. That you can easily do for turn 4, turn 7, and turn 9. Now the ones of braking points of turn 2 and turn 10, those you'll have to be on the brakes a bit longer because you're carrying more speed. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And that applies generally for racing. Less speed you carry towards a corner, the less you need to brake. The more speed you're carrying, like let's say the last corner, full straight, long, you're maxing out at 70 kilometers an hour, you have to brake more. Generally what you want to do is use your brakes to turn the kart.
Yeah.
Now, when I mean use the brakes to turn, I want to just give you an example as I'll share some footage. Let me try and find some footage for you. Let's see. Let's go onto YouTube. Cool. My local track. And what we're going to do is skip to some of the corners for braking. So what's happened over here? We got about 4 or 5 braking points, I'd say.
Yeah.
And let's say we got a typical double hairpin sequence over here. What we do for a double hairpin, it's a hard, short braking period. What you want to do is apply enough pressure where the rear end of the kart starts to rotate. So you're on the brakes. For the first half-second period, you start turning as normal. You see it's a left-hand corner, I'm turning to the left. However, once you apply more and more brake pressure, watch what happens to my wheel. It starts going from left now to the middle and a bit to the right. Why do you think it's doing that? What's that?
Because he's carrying more speed. Like,
What you're actually doing is counter steering. That motion there is when you counter steer. Counter steering is where the tires have gone beyond the normal grip, right?
Mm.
So you're essentially using the brakes to turn the car. Again, one more time. Approaching at high speed, press the brakes hard and turn, and then as you apply more pressure, so you're using the brakes to turn now, why do you think the rear end will turn? When you brake, why does the rear come out? Well, in go-karts, the
Yeah.
brakes are only at the rear. Yeah?
Yeah.
So the more you press the brakes, the more the rear is going to turn. We need the rear to step out a little. When it steps out, that's when you start controlling the cart by counter steering or neutral steering. Look how my steering is staying in the middle. And then we're back on the accelerator. So now we're back on the gas. I'm putting the power down. What happens, the more and more gas you put, the quicker you're going to reach the apex and you'll exit the corner. Let's watch another corner. Hard on the brakes over here, same thing. We're approaching at high speed, hard brakes, turn the cart, apply more pressure now, start building up the pressure. And what happens is the steering wheel goes from the right, now back to the middle, slightly to the left. We're counter steering over here. Let's see another example, maybe at the hairpin turn coming up. Yeah, so this is a good example. This is similar to the final corner at Muscat. You're carrying lots of speed towards a typical hairpin. This time, I brake a bit early. If you look, my braking point is well before the corner, right? I'm not trying to go too late. The reason is we want to get on the accelerator as soon as possible. Early brakes. Now I'm going to spend more time on the brakes than I would do for the next hairpin turn, which is obviously slower. So what we're doing on the brakes, carry the brakes slightly into the corner, but still building up the pressure. We're building up the pressure. We're turning our steering wheel. And now, actually, as we lay the power down, that's when we start feeling the rear end come out. And then we're controlling it. You can see counter steering ever so slightly. So what you need to do when you go to your track next time is focus on hard brakes, get the rear to come out and control it with your steering wheel.
Yeah.
What you don't want to do is counter steer too much. When you counter steer, you only do few degrees, yeah, to the opposite side. And use a reference point. Have you got any reference points at your track?
No.
Reference point is something you can see, and it's different for every track. Now, for my track, I like to use the blue and white curb because that will stay in one place, one location all the time. When I'm learning the track and learning the braking, I was braking here just at the start of the blue and white. When I get more confidence, I brake halfway down the blue and white. I also tried braking all the way at the end, but when I did that, I went too wide. I nearly went in the barrier, so I know that's the limit. So the blue and white curb is a reference. Another thing you can use, let's look at another corner. We got, again, on the right side, we got blue and white, but also the tarmac changes. So there's a white line here, which goes to the left, and the blue and white goes to the right. So at this corner, we said when the two lines split. So it's
Yeah.
about here, just over here, and then the grey tarmac separates them. That's when you start braking. Again, it's a point which is always in the same location every lap. So you don't want to use a cone or something, because somebody can bump the cone and then it's gone, right? If I go to your track, let's share the screen, entire screen. For example, the final corner, maybe you can see over here, that's the white line or red line, yeah?
Yeah.
So you can use that. Let's say for turn 2, looking at turn 2, you have a curb, right? That's
Yeah.
nice to use. Maybe if there's, I don't know, a light or something. I think the curb is best for turn 2. Turn 4, this is more tricky, the first
Okay.
hairpin, but you have the curb again. You see on this right side? So
Yeah.
maybe at the end of the curb, or maybe just middle of the curb. You got to experiment that. Good reference for turn 7 now. I would say this is more on feeling, because there's no clear reference.
Yeah.
Try to get wide over here onto the blue part, and maybe
Yeah.
as the blue becomes darker, then you can start braking, because that's where people have taken the line. Coming up to turn 9 now. Again, you have a curb on the right side, so try to use that. Maybe at the end of the curb you can start braking. And then we
Yeah.
discussed final corner should be that white line. That should be consistent for you. And then you should be confident in your braking. Hopefully, I hope you can give that a go.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
One more question.
Yeah.
One more question. Where should I lean?
Leaning. Great question. Leaning should be done, at every corner. That's my advice. Some corners which you need to lean extra, especially at Muscat Speedway, turn 1. It's a flat out long left-hand turn. So when you have corners like this, you're trying to be smooth with your driving as much as possible. So use your body to help you with turning. And what you'll find is the more you lean over here, the less steering you'll actually have to put in. Other than that, you can also go for, especially the hairpins. So I would say 4 and then 5. 5 especially, turn 5, the reason you want to lean a lot for turn 5 is you're trying to take the second hairpin as flat out as possible. Yeah? When you're trying to take a corner flat out, generally at low speed, that's when you should use your body to your advantage.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Let me know how we go, Salman. Let's catch up in the next session, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's just go to the chat. We got Greg. What's up, Greg? Hope you're doing well. You got a great question as well. Is the goal to keep the wheel as straight as possible while turning? Depends from kart to kart. Now, the example that I showed, I'm going to bring it up again. Let's change screen. So, for example, this is a typical 4-stroke rental kart. The objective with these karts is really to use the brakes to help you with turning, right? As we were discussing with Salman, and also keep the revs as high as possible. So you sort of drive your own line, and you want to generally keep the braking, limited. So again, not spending too much time on the brakes. Give it a tap or a hard bit of pressure just for rotation, as we're doing for this kind of turn. Once we start doing owner karts, so let's show you some owner kart footage. This is a good example. Same track again. Let's skip to the hairpin turn again. So coming up to the typical hairpin, we're hard on the brakes. And what you'll notice for the second hairpin turn is we're on the brakes nice and early. We're keeping the cart in a straight line. And we're sort of trail braking over here, right? So we're carrying the brakes into the corner. What you'll notice with your steering, especially in owner carts, is you're keeping it as neutral as possible. We're barely turning it. So again, going through the next sequence of corners, on the brakes, barely turning the steering wheel. And that's because, again, we're using the brakes to turn. Let's just admit. Harry. What's up, Harry? Welcome, Harry. Hope you can hear us.
Yeah, hello. Had a little bit of internet issue. But yeah,
Welcome.
hello.
Harry, I'm just going to come to you with just explaining over a bit of footage over here. Just bear with me. So again, we got the hairpin turn over here. We get our braking done well before the corner. Pressing the brakes hard initially, carrying them into the corner. Then we turn for the hairpin. And by that time, just before the apex, you'll be on the accelerator. So to answer Greg's question, yeah, it really depends cart to cart. With owner carts, you try to brake in a straight line, keeping the wheel straight. With rental carts, you can get away with it because ultimately you're just trying to keep your revs as high as possible. Harry, how have you been?
Good. Yeah, I've been good.
We had some fun sessions. It was yesterday, right?
Yeah, yesterday.
Time flies. So we were at Team Sport Mitcham, which is an indoor electric karting track. Probably one of the bumpiest tracks, I have to say.
Yeah, the Saudis do like to bounce quite a bit.
It's electric karts with a typical indoor surface. And to be fair, it's a fun layout, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of hairpins, but it was challenging. I think the best I could manage was 39. What's your best?
Yeah. I don't remember. I think I broke into a 38 once on speed 3.
You have, right?
Yeah, but it's a good track. I mean, the old track was a lot better. They had like the bottom was a little bit more advanced with the petrol carts, but they weren't as equal.
Ah, okay. Have you ever tried Speed 4 then at Mitcham?
Yeah, I did a few of the race academy, but their standards aren't great.
Okay.
Their race academy leads don't like it. Don't like what happens there.
I'm sure you know Josh then from
Yeah.
Mitcham.
I'm good friends with Josh. I've known
Awesome.
him since the start of since like the middle of 2022. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, Josh was saying next time, do some for me to do some coaching with him, and hopefully we can get Speed 4 as well that time. See how low we can bring the timings. Certainly a challenging track.
Yeah.
As I've explained to Joel and Marcel, we're gonna go through their footage first, and then hopefully come to yours. Yeah.
I don't really want to go over my footage. I mean, I'm going
Okay.
to Buckmore on Friday, so probably just going over track would be good, maybe.
Yeah, sure. You're fine though with just standing by. Yeah.
Yeah. I can wait. That's all good.
Awesome. All right, Joel. Let's go to yours next. And I'm just trying to locate your link. Actually, I think you sent it via DM. Can you hear me, Joel?
Yeah, I did. I sent you through PM.
Awesome. I have got it all over here. That's really, really good. So where are you joining us from, Joel?
I'm from Portugal.
Wow, welcome.
More like the center of the country, center coast.
Yeah. I know Portugal has a lot of karting talent. Do you know a driver? He's a good friend of mine. Frederico Peters?
No,
Frederico?
I'm totally a beginner here, so
Okay.
I don't know a lot of people there.
Frederico, I believe he's also the owner of Kartdrome Evora. Have you heard of Kartdrome Evora? Oh, Evora, that's it.
Yeah, it's more like for the south of the country.
Ah, okay, excellent. So which track do you drive at?
It's called Euro Indy.
Okay.
and I used to drive 290 cc.
Awesome, awesome. And I've just got your footage up here actually. If I can just share it now. There we go. So this is actually recent, only a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it's recent.
And we've basically got a typical outdoor track.
Sorry for the
Yeah.
the track, because it's the first time that I've used the GoPro there, so it's pointing too much to myself instead of the track.
No stress, no stress. Next time you can just adjust it slightly higher, but we can make out basically what's going on. Is it lagging or is it smooth? How do you see it?
I see okay. A little bit laggy, but I see okay.
Yeah, I think give it a minute or so. It normally will smoothen out. So basically, we're starting the lap over. Is it over here coming up now? No, we've passed it. This is the start of
No,
the lap.
that's the start. Yeah,
Excellent.
I sent you also the map.
The map.
Yeah.
We're going to take a look at that. That's right. So we got a nice variation of layout here. What's interesting straight off the bat is the types of curbs they use. So it's actually a barrier right next to the curb. And that's what you want to look for, especially when you're new to a track. What are the limits? You know, how far can I drive the cart out? Generally, you want to use pretty much all of the track, you know, similar to what you're doing here. This is interesting surface of curb because you got, is it bricks that they put together there?
Sorry.
And then, so it looks like there's bricks. The tarmac changes. So this is road on the right.
Yeah,
and
it gets a little bit bumpy. So at the beginning, I was sticking entirely to the road.
Yeah.
But then I figured out if I can make a little bit more pressure to hold it up.
Yeah.
I can benefit from it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Who is in front of you? This looks like a race cart, yeah?
Yeah, it is. And
Wow.
like at this point, it just
Yeah.
looked back and saw that I was catching him.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it
yeah.
just pressed the accelerator. I never saw him again.
Yeah, because that's very unique. If you're allowed to have a 4-stroke car, and that's a junior 2-stroke, I think, or might even be senior, but it's very fast. They don't normally share the track, but that's really cool. Have you tried those before? Those carts?
Oh no, just the 2.9 and the
Yeah.
3.7, I guess.
Awesome. What I'm gonna do is just share your track map. If I can just bring this up. So the problem is it's too small. Do you have the exact name? I'm gonna try and get that up on maps.
I
If
can
you could maybe
type.
share, yeah.
That's the track name.
Perfect. Let's just share entire. Wow, that's very nice. So this is on the west, you would say.
Yeah.
Of you're very close to the sea as well. That's
That's the coast part of the country.
Awesome. This is the track that we've just watched a lap of. Talk me through generally what you're struggling with around here. It's a nice layout looking at it.
Yeah. So the first two turns, I can just do it with the full gas.
Mm-hmm.
No problem. But then the third and the fourth, I think I go too much outside on the fourth one because I'm probably or not braking enough or not doing it right. But I feel like it pushes me too much out of the
over here, right? Where my marker is.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you've obviously got the second long straight.
Mm-hmm.
and the back end of the lap. Anything you're struggling with over here?
Yeah, sometimes I step the cart full on the curb.
Mhm.
Other times I can like do it with just half of the carts. But when I really struggle the most, it's the next ones, which are
Yeah.
yeah.
So you have this hairpin to the left and then to the right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's not very easy to do.
Yeah. And then the final corner, I guess it's down here to the right,
Mhm.
more of a free-flowing corner.
Yeah.
Do you have to brake anywhere for this final corner?
I don't.
Yeah.
But
It's quite wide, right?
yeah, if I don't have the tires really heated up,
Yeah.
it's gonna drift.
Awesome.
So I try to heat the tires as much as I can
Yeah.
on the first 15 minutes, because the way that they do, it's like they give you 15 minutes to go with,
Mm-hmm.
then you get out and you
Mhm.
go again for another 15.
Yeah. How long have you been driving at this track for?
Since I started, for like 4 years, I guess.
4 years. Wow. And do you go regularly, like every week or every month? How
Yeah,
often do you drive?
on the summer I try to go every month.
Yeah.
When I have some company to go there, because alone it's not much that funny. So I try to go at least with another colleague.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So it's
I try
sort of
to go with
every few months, and then summer you do more.
yes.
Awesome. When are you planning to go next to the track?
This month. I don't know when, but
Yep.
yeah.
You're
I'm
planning a
trying-
visit.
yeah.
That's awesome. Well, based on the feedback you've given me, you're struggling with two similar corners. And the reason they're similar, it's because they're both a double hairpin sequence. So we have the first one over there and a second one over here. And these are typical corners you get at indoor and outdoor tracks. What you got to think about whenever you do a double hairpin corner, whether it's this sequence or this sequence, is always about the distance between the two of them. So this is the first one. Let's take this sequence on what is it, turn 4? Excuse me, turn 3 and 4, and this is the second one. So what you'll notice as you exit turn 3, going on to turn 4, there's a short straight. Yeah.
Mhm.
What happens, especially in 290 or 270 or even 390cc carts, this period is not long enough to build up a lot of speed, right? You might be 50% over here, right, of speed before it's time to turn again. So the way we want to drive this corner is by doing braking for the first hairpin, right? Slowing the cart down. Ideally, we want to go for a late apex, so we go around the corner towards the end. We end up on the left-hand side of the corner. Now, where we build up our speed almost to 50, 60%, we're now located on the left-hand side of the track to take the second hairpin flat out, right? That should always be the objective. Whenever you take a double hairpin, the second hairpin over here should always be taken flat out. The way you'll achieve that is by, number one, braking and slowing the cart down enough to take the first hairpin. Make sure you achieve a late apex so you can stay on the left-hand side of the track, in this case, opening up the angle of the corner to easily take the turn. Let's go to some onboard footage and actually break it down. In this session, I know in the description you got all the laps in. So what I want to do is look at
Because
lap 13.
it was my fastest lap.
Yeah,
So the GoPro divided by many files, and I just saved the one that I've done my best lap.
This is interesting because it's 50.1, then 0.6, then 0.5, then 0.1, then 0.1, 51.1, then 0.5. So actually, you did something spectacular on 50.1 because you're significantly faster, and we'll obviously review that. Just give me one moment as we'll admit Glow. What's up, Glow? Welcome. Can you hear us?
Yes,
Uh,
hi.
Welcome, Glow. Where are you joining us from?
From Czech Republic.
Awesome. Welcome. Is it the first time you're joining Track Help?
Yes.
Excellent. Do you have any footage you wanted to submit or anything to go over? Any questions?
I don't think so.
No worries. You're welcome to come and join in. Yeah.
Okay.
So just going back to Joel, then we've started. This footage starts at lap 12. Is that correct?
Yeah, it starts
Awesome.
at middle of lap 12, I guess.
So we've basically gone on to.
Yeah, that's already the end.
Yeah, let me change so it doesn't lag as much. I want to watch the fastest lap of 50.1, which is over here. Hopefully it's not lagging as much. Just give it a second or so. Going through turn 1, the fast right into turn 2, also another right-hander. This is turn 3, so this is the first hairpin we spoke about. Into turn 4, the right. And yeah, turn 4 is very important because you want to carry as much speed out of it because you've got this long straight coming up. We're now going to be coming up to a fast right-hand turn. It's almost a hairpin, actually. If I look at your track diagram, yep, it's another hairpin. So this is a slightly slower corner. You've got lots of runoff, which is interesting as well on this track. And now the tighter part of the track, which is the double hairpins. Let's just see how you take it over here. That's a good effort. And the second one as well. Can you hear the sound?
Yes.
Awesome. Through the final corner, trying to keep it close to the inside curb. And up to the line. Awesome. Okay. If that's 50.1, you can definitely achieve 49. Let me tell you that much. Let's go through it. Let's break this lap down because that was solid. Let's just change the share screen. Okay.
The times might also be because I'm driving with more people. I guess we
Yep.
were like 4 or 5 on the track.
Yep, definitely.
I've encountered someone there.
That'll definitely make a difference in terms of track condition and things like that. Overall, turn 1 and 2 doesn't really need much explanation except for placement of the cart. You know, generally try and keep it in the middle of the track. And as you get to turn 2, just like you're doing, turn a bit more and get onto the right-hand side of the track. This is to prepare for the first hairpin. First hairpin requires braking. Before we go over a breaking point, I just want to watch on this lap what you do. I'm just watching your left foot. Boom. So you're braking quite early. You're carrying the brakes until about the white line. And now if you look at your right foot, you're back on gas. Okay. First thing I would suggest is the track width. Now we got lots of room over here. Your target should be getting as close to the right-hand side as possible, almost where this white line is. Reason we want to take a wide entry is so we can take a late apex. Wider the corner, the later we can turn in. So at the moment, if you look at your entry, we've still got a lot of track on the right side to use, yeah? Have you ever tried using more of the track on the right? Where my lines
I think I didn't because since I'm full gas on the turns before,
yeah,
it usually throws me to the middle of the track.
Good point.
And I'm already thinking about the other turns, so I think I never push too out of the turn.
That's a good point, actually. And the way you can overcome this is just by turning to the right a bit later. So here we're approaching the fast right-hand turn. You see how you're turning in already for the corner? The earlier you turn in, you're going to hit the inside apex early. And then, as you said, it will throw you off. Look, you're in the middle of the track. All you got to do is turn later by a fraction. So continue in a straight line in the middle of the track before turn 3, which this is. Excuse me, turn 2. turn in a bit later. And what we're trying to target is a late
The late
apex.
apex.
Yeah. And the later you can take an apex, the easier it is then to stay on the right-hand side of the track. As I said, just slightly wider on the track. Now, looking at the depth of this corner as well, you do have a chance to go quite deep into it, right? There's a lot of road to use over here. So wider we are, you can even be slightly later on the brakes. Yeah, I would say from where you're braking now, brake 2 or 3 feet later. The way you can gauge this is just on feeling. Where you normally feel like braking, just delay that by half a second, because really there's no clear reference points. I mean, are you using some kind of a reference for this, or is it on feeling?
No, not here. Here is on feeling.
On feeling. Good way to almost feel it out as well. Do you see how the surface changes there? So it goes from sand, and then I think there's bricks on the right side.
Yeah, bricks.
So as soon as it starts turning into the bricks, that's when you know it's time to start braking. Wide entry, and what we're trying to do is go deep into the corner. So what I want you to do is, rather than turning the steering wheel before the white line, why not get to the white line and then start doing your turning? So again, it looks as if you're going over it, and at the last moment you want to turn it. You see, with a late apex, you got to almost imagine you're going to go in a straight line, almost crash into the barrier, and then at the last moment you turn to the left. That's a general feeling of it. Reason is you want to go deep into the corner. Let's go to the track map. We're going to go deep into the corner and turn at the last moment so we can get our cut over here. What you do in a late apex is you skip the early apex, you skip the middle apex, and then the cut should be towards the left-hand side on corner exit. So you see the blue part of the track? You don't want to
step over.
Yeah, you don't want to step over that. That's the part you skip. Now, what that will hopefully help you do, going back to your footage, is you can even see on track over here. I would say, just like you're doing over here, get onto a bit of the curb.
Okay.
In this corner, the black tire barrier is the limit. So feel free to ride up until there. Again, feel it out. If it doesn't feel comfortable to you to go all the way, maybe just go halfway like you're doing. The thing is, stay towards the left-hand side of the track over here. So you see how you're in the middle at this point? We need to be more on the left side. Reason you want to be on the left-hand side is so you can open up the angle of this corner. And the wider you can enter this corner, the easier it's going to be to take it flat. That's the objective, right? In a double hairpin, the second hairpin, which is over here, should be flat. Let's just watch over here. So what happens here, you actually lift off the gas.
Yeah.
It's a little lift that you do. It's not a brake, it's a lift. And the more you go in the middle, the tighter the angle of the corner becomes, right? So, you are going to feel like, no, I need to turn more. I need to lift off the gas more. There's no grip in the tires. Widen it up. So it should, going back to over here and here, late apex, open up the angle of the corner, take this flat. And what we want to do is try to make a perfect rotation.
Okay.
So using all of the track on entry on the left-hand side, all of the track over here, and then all of the track on corner exit as well. Yeah.
So on the second hairpin, I'm making a mid apex.
Second hairpin, yeah. You're generally going to go for, I would say, a mid apex, mid to late, if anything. But looking at your track and the video here, I'd say mid apex, which is bang on. Oops, just go a bit back over here. Mid apex is basically, yeah, just over here. That's what you'll be targeting. However, as soon as you hit a mid apex, again, we could be slightly closer to the black barrier. As I said, the black barrier is the limit. Then start looking ahead to the outside where my circle is. Try to make the corner as wide as possible on exit. Even if it means you got to use a bit of the runoff where the bricks are, because that's technically part of the track. More you can use the runoff, the easier it's going to be. Got a
Here,
long.
I tend
Yes.
to, there's this slight curve. I tend to use that part to save some distance.
That's awesome. Keep doing that. Actually, if I go to the overhead, that's really good. So what you're doing is you're coming from the outside and then cutting to the inside here, right?
Yeah, kind of almost trying to make as straight as possible.
That's it. That's it. So basically, we don't want to use all of the track on the blue. That's extra meters for us.
Yeah.
Keep that up. Placement of the cart. Even on a straight, it's important where you're positioned. Coming up to our hairpin. Firstly, what I like on this lap is you're using all of the track. So on corner entry, you deliberately go over to the left-hand side. You're trying to widen up the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you're going for an early break and you're going for a relatively late apex there. Talk me through the braking here because, it's, again, on feeling.
This is the turn that I think I mentioned this somewhere with you some time ago.
Okay.
It's where I brake so much that I think my cart completely loses all the revs that it has. Like the cart seems that it shuts down. And when I lift the brake, it seems that it turns back on.
Okay.
Feels weird.
Let's actually look exactly where you're braking. Just looking at your left foot over here now. So left foot, boom. Right. You're braking exactly at this point. In relation to the corner, I'd say that is quite early, which is not a bad thing. But then let's look at how long you spend on the brakes. You're on the brakes. You're on the brakes. You're on the brakes. You're still on the brakes. And now you've released. So what you've done essentially is by the time we've got to the apex or close to the apex, you've gone back on the gas. So what you're doing there is a trail brake. You're carrying the brakes, hard brake, carrying it into the corner, and then you're on gas. Problem with trail braking this is a 270cc, right? You were driving?
Yeah.
Yeah. Problem is when you brake that much, it loses your revs, right? It loses that momentum. You want to try to keep the revs as high as possible. Mm-hmm. That's why I encourage you to try the threshold brake technique. So what you're doing, you're going deeper into the corner, except this time we're going to press the brakes harder. So it's a high amount of pressure, and then we're going to just bleed off very, very quickly. Yeah, so it looks something like that. Mm-hmm. High amount of pressure, and then bleed off very, very, very quickly. What we're trying to do over here with threshold braking, if you're able to press the brakes harder, is get the rear end to step out. Because the brakes are located at the rear on carts, the harder you press the brakes, the more it's going to rotate at the rear. So as opposed to turning to the right, when you threshold brake, your steering wheel will be more to the left. You'll actually be counter steering. Yeah, that's because the rear end is stepping out. Have you tried hard braking or threshold braking before? Have you tried this technique?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's not easy to guess when you're on the run because you just need it. You just need to think at so many things.
That's it.
Some of them get lost.
No, that's not a problem. Well, what you want to do is, number one, avoid being on the brakes for too long. See, what's happening here is we're losing time because we're braking early, then we're still on the brakes all the way to the corner. Then there's almost a coasting period, and then you're slowly back on acceleration. If you listen to the engine revs over here, it takes time to build it up.
Mhm.
What we do with hard braking, not only do we, finish the brake period quickly, but we're able to then get on the gas earlier. So brake hard, get the rear to step out, and it's about here, well before the corner, we're actually going to be back on the accelerator. See, this technique is a matter of experimenting. You got to do it over the course of many, many laps. The best way I would advise you to build up here is brake at a similar point to what you're doing here, more on feeling, but just press the brakes harder. And then the next lap, press the brakes maybe a meter or so later, or a few feet later, but with more pressure. And then again, deeper into the corner, but with more pressure, until you feel that, no, I brake too late and I'm almost, going into the barriers and I'm skipping the apex. That's the limit. That's the
Okay.
that's sort of the threshold. And also, the harder you press the brakes, the more the rear end will come out. So you need to find that threshold, even if it means on one lap you press it really hard, where you almost spin out, but gradually get to that step. So 60% of pressure on one lap, the next lap 70%, the next lap 80%, and then maybe at 90%, that's where it comes out on you. So that's the limit, the threshold. This is a typical hairpin turn, and whenever you take a hairpin turn, you should always try and target a late apex. So the same thing goes. We try to go straight line, go deep into the corner, and then a sharp late turn in. Go for a late apex. So what you do is, again, skip the blue the blue part. You don't want to go near this. Don't go on an early apex. Avoid the middle apex, but late apex. Yeah, right at the end of the corner. This will give you the best possible exit speed out of the corner. The thing is, between here and probably here, that's all going to be flat out, right? So it's important you get the best possible acceleration. And as you said, you want to avoid losing your revs as you're currently doing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So go deep into the corner, hard brakes, threshold brake, get on the gas early, late apex. The late apex is actually quite late in this corner. It's just after this part over here. So avoid going in too early, and also, find the limit, whether it's using half of this curve is over here, or, getting right up to the black barrier. You experiment what works best. Let's see your line through the fast left. This is all flat out. So you got a couple of barriers on the inside there. And then the second hairpin comes at you quickly. Wow. So it's actually quite a short period, I would say.
Yeah, it is.
What you're doing here is you're widening up. I like that, because the next corner is a lot tighter than it looks on the maps. You see this?
Yeah, I tried to straight it up again, like I did on the other one. So I come out to try to make a perfect line, a straight line, as much as I can.
Yeah. No, I like that, and it's important you think about that as well. I'd say overall it looks fine, and what you're doing, I don't know if you notice on track, but there's this line in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also a great reference, because that line runs quite consistently from, you can see it over here. It's running in the middle of the track. Can you see that whilst you drive?
Yes.
Because that sort of separates the track in half, and then you can use that as a reference. So what you don't want to do is be on the left-hand side over here, otherwise you're too tight. Be on the outside of the line. And as you can see, you're following that quite well on entry for the corner. There's not really much to go over here, except for, keep the line which requires the least steering, I'd say. Don't be turning excessively and things like that. And as you said, you're just trying to create the straightest path possible, which is fine. Now, this is the corner which is causing you problems. Is that correct?
Yeah. Like
That's-
sometimes I go too much outside, I guess.
Mhm.
Sometimes I don't like it's not consistent.
Yeah,
At
yeah,
least
yeah.
I don't feel consistency there.
So similar to turns 3 and 4, as we discussed, it's a typical double hairpin corner, which means for the first hairpin corner, you need to brake. And you're doing that already. Now, I'm just going to listen out and freeze frame. Just give us 1 sec as we got Jacob who's just joining. Hey, what's up, Jacob? Welcome. Hope you can hear us.
I think sometimes it takes some time to load in.
Okay, gotcha. No worries. We're just going over Joel's footage, Jacob. We will come to you shortly after that. So, as we said, we're looking out for your where you're braking on this particular lap, on lap 13. I'm just going to listen out because I'm able to hear the audio. Boom. There you go. So you're on the brakes already. So you're basically braking where the sand is over here.
Mhm.
You got similar transition where there's brakes there. Now, you're early on the brakes. Let's just look at what you do next. Still on the brakes. And now you've come off. Okay, so again, just before the apex, you've come off. So what you're doing here is similar to the last corner. You're sort of trail braking in the corner, which is fine. You know, you're trying to be smooth. That's what I can see. Overall, you're a smooth driver. What we want to try and do this time is number 1, try and brake a bit later. So I would say even
And
where,
harder.
yeah, later and then brake harder. Use the sand and the brick portion as a reference. So as it transitions, maybe over here, that's when you can start braking. But also, you know, don't neglect the track width. Yeah, use all of the track available, even if it means 2 tires over this. Wider you can make the corner, the easier it's going to be to turn. The tighter you make the corner, the less speed you're going to carry, the less you're going to have to brake. Give me 1 moment. Welcome back, Stevie. This time, what do you think we're aiming for when we're going for the first hairpin? So again, we got 2 hairpins here. What are we going for in terms of apex?
Late apex.
Yep.
Because there it has to be because on the first double hairpin,
Mhm.
I don't feel it like so because I can go outside, but that one is a little bit even shorter.
Yeah.
So there's no way you go for anything less than the late apex
Yeah.
because you're going to be in for the other hairpin and it's impossible.
That's right. That's right.
That's where many people struggle on that track because at the first time you don't realize what you're doing wrong and how can you be so in or so out for the next hairpin. But
Exactly.
once you get that you need to get wider on the first hairpin
Mm.
and go really slow because there you have to go really slow in order to be out.
Mhm.
Then the other one is a little bit easier, but yeah. First times we're struggling.
Great observation. And actually, you got to look at the type of you know, layout that this is. For the first one, excuse me, that's not the first one. This is the first one. The first one is more flowing and it's pretty much a U. You
Seems
see
more
here,
open, yeah. That's
this one
more
is
closed one.
yeah, it's tighter. And as the corner goes, you're still turning, then it straightens up. So you've got this almost V that you can create, yeah, as opposed to here where it's a lot more open. That's what I really want you to do. Create a V when you drive. So what you're doing is you can see the tarmac changes from the overhead shot there. I'd even say you can brake slightly later, but you do that progressively. Start with braking where the tarmac changes and then bring it later and later. But what you're doing, stay nice and wide. The wider you can make this corner, the easier it is then to cut to the left-hand side at the last moment. What you try to do is go deep as well. I'm almost going to go straight into the barriers in front. I'm going straight. Now I'm going to turn. And as you turn, you're able to cut back across the track and be on the left-hand side. So it opens up the angle for this corner. So what happens is, by the time we reach the entry of the second hairpin, look at the kind of line we can take. So much more flowing.
Yeah.
As opposed to being something like this. You're in the middle of the track. Oh no, it's a very tight right-hand turn. And you're being very, very tight over there. You have to brake or lift, or even being completely on the right-hand side of the track. And then you're being thrown out wide and, your line is messed up. So
you don't imagine how many people step on that curb inside on the outside of the first hairpin. Like
Right.
There's a lot of people stepping that, and usually they're gonna hit the barrier for sure because they can't.
So basically, they are over
That
here.
part there, yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of people there.
That's it. It's a good chance to overtake over here or set up a switchback, as we like to call it.
Yeah, I think it's on the later. No, it's on another video.
Okay.
I almost can make almost can step forward someone there.
Yeah,
I couldn't because the cart was 390. So it builds up much faster, and I have no chance because the other turn will be a really soft one, and you have that huge straight line there because there's no way. But on the next lap, I can make the I can surpass him.
Yeah. You're able to overtake him.
Yeah, overtake.
That's awesome. Just going back then to our hairpin. So it's almost a banked corner as well. It looks slightly banked. Regardless of that, try and enter it wider, all the way up to the bricks on the right-hand side. Go deep into the corner and drive as if you're going to go straight into the grass patch. And run. The final moment, do a sharp late turn in so you can skip the early apex, skip especially this middle apex, but you want to be close at the end of the corner, over here, and get right up to the black barrier. That's the limit, I would say.
It's scary.
Yeah, it's about the timing and the accuracy. I know how it feels. But see, the later you turn, the easier it is going to be for you to control the car. What's happening here, the moment you turn early, you got to judge the corner so much because you got this early part, which actually, if you look at the shape of the barrier, it goes straight and then it suddenly goes left, right?
Yeah.
So the earlier you turn, you have to deal with that. Then you have to deal with it caving to the left. Just try to be later in the corner. More importantly, stay on the left now. Stay on the left. So don't go in the middle. You see how ever so slightly you went in the middle?
Yeah, because there's a little turn.
Yeah.
When I get the apex there.
Yes.
So I still have to make that little bit of turning, and it's what is pushing me to the middle part of it. Exactly.
When you go deeper into the corner on entry and turn later, you shouldn't feel that anymore. You should be comfortably, doing a late apexing on the left-hand side of the track. When we can achieve that, be on the left-hand side of the track, corner angle opens up for us. We can flick it to the right. And what I would say is similar to what you're doing here, use all of the curb up to the barrier. And this is interesting because this corner, by the looks of it, requires a late apex again. Because you can see the corner starts, you see the bricks come on early, and then it's sort of caving to the right, and suddenly the corner now, it's almost a 90 degree. Yeah. So what you don't want to do is apex too early. You don't want to go here, you don't want to go here, don't want to go here, don't want to go here. You don't even want to go anywhere here. But as the corner ends and wraps around where the yellow is, that's where you want to be. So what you'll be doing is coming in from a wider angle where my yellow line is, and then you can comfortably hit a late apex like that.
Okay.
See, what's happened here is we're too tight, right?
Mhm.
We're already on the curb, so naturally we're going to take an earlier apex, even if it's slow speed and you're trying to stay right. What will happen now is you'll get thrown out wide, and then you lose your momentum. As opposed to taking a late apex, you'll cut back, and your exit will probably be over here.
Mhm.
You'll come out on exit more in front, just like that. Final couple of corners, all about placement of the cart. So let's just see how you do it. You stick to the left, opening up the angle for the final corner. Chuck it into the right. Looks good. And then you're finishing the lap. That's awesome. It's a good effort, I would say. If you really want to look for the extra few hundredths, what you can try and do, good on entry, keep the entry the same, but then get closer to the inside curb for the final corner over here. So you see this distance that we're leaving?
Mhm.
Get right up. I would even say, try and ride the red and white. Have you ever tried to go over this?
No, I usually try to go along it, like
Okay.
to be really close to it,
Mhm.
and just follow the same curve as the turn itself.
Yeah. What you'll find sometimes, this number one reduces the meters on the track. It's also legal, as long as you don't put four wheels over this, it's completely legal. So try and get your front right tire to get near this. And then what you do is as the corner ends, you look ahead towards the exit curb or the exit rumble strip. So this curb, we need to be almost on the white line, if not two wheels over it. We need to maximize the track width and not limit ourselves to being within the yellow line, let's say, which is over here. Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause what-
Sometimes I don't know.
Yeah.
Which compromise should I take? I should go wider angle to gain more speed, or
Mhm.
to go more close to save on distance?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I would say the entry, you're doing fine. You're coming in nice and wide. I would then say cut all the way across the track, try and hug the inside as we're doing here. But on exit, it's very important you go back out wide because we have a long straight, yeah, over here.
Mhm.
Whenever you have a long straight like this, always prioritize a wide exit, carrying more speed. Nice and wide, use up all of the track like that. And then that's basically a quick lap. So when is the next time you're going to the track?
Like 2-3 weeks from today, more or less.
Awesome. Well, get your GoPro ready. Try and record that session. I think to recap then, it's all about the double hairpin corners for you. You
Mhm.
can easily gain some time on that. We're going to put the track help replay up. So, even if you want to review this before the next time you go karting,
Oh yeah, I definitely will.
just go over it because we've gone over a lot of info. So, it's easy to understand it now, but then, you might forget a few things. So day before the race, just listen to this again and enjoy it. I can tell that you're a passionate driver. You like to go with. Are you going with some friends next time? Is it a group event?
Yeah, I always go with friends. Either if
Amazing.
it's just one person, it's
Yeah.
okay for me.
So you challenge them to a race.
Yeah, like usually now the people that goes with me, they know less than I do.
Okay.
But on the last year, I had a friend that
Yeah.
would go every month with me, and that was completely a race. Like we
Wow.
race times.
Yeah. That's it. You're very competitive.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Let me know how it goes. And if you have any questions, be sure to let me know as well.
Sure. Thank you for your time.
It's been a pleasure, Joel. It's been a pleasure. What's up, Jacob?
Hi, mate. How
How are
I'm
you?
fine.
It's
I'm
nice
fine.
to see you. It's nice to see you. I always see the
Finally,
helmet.
I arranged something to talk on camera. So yeah.
That's awesome. Welcome, welcome. Have you got any footage you wanted to go over or anything?
I only got some questions to you, but I can wait till the end. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I think others need more help than I. I only have a few questions, as I know
No
that
worries.
you told me last time when we had a meeting that you are participating in some training course or something like
That's
that.
right. Yes.
Yeah. So I have something to ask about it. It's not a long question, but yeah, we'll wait. I will wait with it.
Absolutely, absolutely. What we're gonna do? We got Marcel and Harry. Let's start off with Marcel actually, because I know Marcel, you've joined from the beginning.
Yes, I did.
How was the race? Who won in the end?
Of course, my son did, but that's normal.
Okay, Max beat Russell then. Oh,
Yeah. In the
let's
end, I
actually see
think
the
he
results.
even
Fun.com.
he got lucky with a safety car situation.
Oh,
and
okay,
he could
Max,
bid because
Lando,
Norris
and
was in the lead.
Really?
Yeah, so he got lucky. I'm a Ferrari fan, so I was not that lucky today.
Oh no. You know, I need to get back into F1. I stopped following properly since 2021. You know, the amazing last race, the dramatic last race. Just because I don't know, I think lately F1 has been losing the authenticity, you know. Maybe since they brought this Drive to Survive in, it's been getting too much like Netflix. Not about the racing. But yeah, no, literally before that, I used to watch every practice qualifying race session, you know, religiously. I wouldn't miss one. So for me,
I still do.
You still did. I like the passion, and I like that, and I know how it is when you enjoy it like that. But I need something to change in F1 for me to get back into it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just watching YouTube highlights after every race. Marcel, you've got a couple of bits of footage. I'm just looking at the comment.
Yeah, I've got two small clips. Maybe it was
Awesome.
nice to see an almost accident, but we got two point of views from that: the GoPro of my son and the footage of my wife filming. So that's
let's
just for fun. That's not really track help, but
let's take a look. Whatever it is always worth viewing. Should we look at the POV one first or the off-board? Which one?
The driver first, and then the footage of my wife, because then you see it's a bit more scary than it looks from the drive above. So
wow,
that's me in the front.
That's you in front. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it clear or is it lagging?
It's quite clear.
Clear, awesome. And you can hear the sound, right?
Quality is a bit low, but that's never mind. And it's when he's cutting on the straight, somebody is leaving the pit still because it was a relatively big group.
Okay, this is just an outlap, so
this is the outlap, yeah, of course. But it was a very young guy, I think maybe 8 or 10 years old. He didn't look, he didn't stop. Everybody stops at the line before going on. So here we go.
Oh no.
And he's checked to the sides directly. So
that was a close one.
Yeah.
Look at this.
He had smoke on his tires when he braked, but you can see that in the next clip filmed by my wife.
Yeah, because this is a tight corner, so he's coming right onto the line.
Yeah, this is fastest corner of the whole track. You gain.
Isn't it flat out, this corner?
Yeah, flat out. It's a 65 right-hand turn, 65 kph. But
this one. No, this one.
So it is not really track help, but I think I throw in some fun. Yeah, that's me again. I look to the right, and you have to stop there. There's a big sign with stop, and if I look at the right side, oh, here we go.
This lagging a
Yeah,
bit. Whoa!
smoke on the braking.
Yeah, and that's why we always put kids
Ooh, yeah, it
first on the
looks.
track on our track. That's why we put kids first. Because
Yeah,
of
they do kids later.
That
I
looks
mean,
much worse.
everybody could make some stupid moves like this. So
Yeah, but he is.
Yeah, I mean that looks a lot closer off board.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
good save. Very good save.
Oh, that was my wife. I thought I got that out, but I didn't. Sorry.
I didn't understand. Don't worry, don't worry. Let's go to this session now. This is actually your son driving.
This is my son driving. Yeah, he's watching on YouTube right now.
Awesome. What's his name?
Brian.
What's
yeah,
up,
yeah.
Brian? Hope you can send a hi in the chat.
You saw that he hits almost 65 kph in the first quarter.
Yeah, yeah.
Because of the traffic, I think to 1 minute 30 is better because it's
Yeah.
a lot of mess in the first two
Ooh,
rounds.
someone was around there.
Yeah.
Was
Probably.
it that guy or not?
Yeah, probably it is.
Same driver.
And this is not a race, so he's being careful, of course.
All right, we should get a clean lap now.
Yeah, this is from a few weeks ago. The almost accident was yesterday, so I
Awesome.
thought I throw it in. So he has all the room now, and he's wondering if he's doing everything all right or he need to do a little things.
I think by the looks
better.
of it, he's got a solid side. Somebody's gone off there.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone's gone off there. It was a very good start to the lap. I'm going to come back to it. I think he did.
From
he did the
130, he has
yeah.
a clear lap, so maybe that's the best to see.
Yeah, I was just going to say this is the start.
Yeah,
it was a good start. Let's watch again. Very clean through turn one. I feel from the video you can tell he's on the limit all the way. He's using his body weight as well for rotation. Nice through the mid part. Bit of curb there, that's nice.
and he is struggling with this corner as well as I am.
Yeah.
And he tried the tips you gave me, which gained me 0.8. But
That's awesome.
yeah, but he says it's not working for me, and
I think just based on that lap, that was the only corner which, we can discuss a few more lines. Other than that, like first hairpin, late apex, he's using a bit of the curb. Entry is good. I think it's a tap of the brakes over here for him.
Yeah.
And then he's sort of trying to keep the momentum up. That's the most important thing for this corner. Looking at, lots of different footage now. And it's a weird corner because, it's double apexed. I would say, so if we take this lap in isolation, there should be some kind of apex you take, whether it's the early one and then you go back out wide, or you skip the early one and then you sort of try and hit the later one over there. What you don't want to do is, leave too much of a gap to the inside. Now, experiment. That's the best way to do things. In terms of taking a later apex over here, I think you can afford to go deeper into this corner, for example, almost as if you're going to overshoot and then cut back on the line. What happens when you cut back? You can get closer to the inside white line and then stay at the left hand side. Is that similar to the line you were taking?
No, that's exactly the line I'm taking now, because
Okay.
I didn't do that. The rumble just before this corner ends, and when it's ending,
Yeah.
I'm just turning.
Wow. So just over here, right?
Yeah, I'm turning over there.
Yeah. How's that working for you?
As I said, I scraped off a lot of time there.
Okay, that's one way of looking at it. And I think it's also the more you can get over to the right hand side, the less you can brake as well. You don't have to brake as much. It can literally be a tap, maybe a lift. I'd still say you have to brake though, because it's quite tight this turn. But widen it up, make the corner easier for you to take, and then just try to cut across and be on close to the white line as possible. Let's just watch the back end of the lap now, coming through the fast left into the right, which looks pretty much spot on there. And then final couple of corners, you skip the first right, and then you got nice and close for the second right. That looks good. Let's watch until the end. A few more laps. Turn 1 is good. Nice and aggressive. That's what you want to do. You want to be right on the limit, and especially, there you go, for turn 2 as well. Beautiful. Yep, good effort through the hairpin. Yeah, I see what he's trying there. So let's switch over to the markers. So Brian, this is a very very interesting corner for you. This time you went earlier. So you turned in earlier, you got closer to the early apex, and then you opened up the steering wheel straight away because you want to carry that momentum and keep the revs up. What I feel though, just looking at the footage, is the moment you open up too soon, you're leaving yourself exposed for somebody who might go for a later turn, later apex, and then they can switch back on you by taking a tighter line just to the left there. So that's one thing, try and experiment where, love this, you're nice and wide, you're right up to the white line, but rather than turning in as early as you are now, delay it all the way towards the end. Deeper you can go into this corner. Again, easier it's going to be to cut across the track, and then keep it on the left over here. So sort of think about mid to late apex, and the tighter you can keep it to the left, the more you can get out wide. Jacob, what do you analyze from here? What would you say for
I
this?
have something different in mind here, because the main thing that I want to ask, how much, if it's not a problem, of course, how much does Brian weight when he's driving the karts?
He's not extremely light, but I guess around 90.
Okay, so it's a typical karting weight for most of the championships, so it's a good benchmark for me. So
Yeah, 85,
basically,
90 is.
the thing that I see here, could you move the video a little bit backward, like when we see this kind of the exit of the corner when you try to focus on, like we have this curb, and then we have this, I don't know how to call it, the after the tarmac or something on the right side, like you've got out of every corner. Yeah, so we
the
can
runoff, let's call it.
So one question: how is it like? Is it like every time out of every corner you can use it and it doesn't slow you down, or how is it like when it's dry?
No, it's only uncomfortable.
It's only uncomfortable. Okay,
Yeah.
but okay, so we need to go in this way. If it's uncomfortable, but it is faster, you need to take that. So in my opinion, can we go through his line through this lap, like only this corner?
Okay. So go back basically.
No, I'm only interested in this hairpin.
Oh, the second hairpin.
This one. Yeah, the second hairpin. Yeah. Yeah. So just go through the whole line, whole speed. I need to see the braking and everything.
Yeah. Hope it's not lagging too much, though. That's the thing.
Oh, it's okay. And the tap. Yeah. So, as is Omar, in my opinion, what he should try to do, maybe the turning point is all right. Like if we see this tarmac at the here where he's turning, it's all right. But I would focus more, like the braking point is also good because he's firstly turning and then he's braking. So he has already set up the kart for the apex. And in my opinion, I don't know how long does he have to hold the brake to the corner. Like, it's an important thing because he needs to generate this rotation. And
I think this was just a tap because if you look at his foot,
if
Boom.
he, but it's important that he make this kart setup like that is already turning before the corner. I mean, I don't think he should prioritize the second apex here because, in my opinion, in those Saudi cards, from my experience, you need to have huge amount of refs. Like you need to keep it because otherwise you will lose it down the whole straight. So I would prioritize this first turn,
like he's doing here,
curb,
basically.
and go even more tighter. Not on the curb, but to have the left wheel on this white line. Yeah, maybe somewhere in the mid, maybe even more forward. Like maybe not the early apex, but yeah, like here. Have this have the. You need to turn early enough. Yeah. And with the minimum steering, you need to drive the kart into this apex. And from this point, like if it's possible, like because it depends where he stops to brake. Because if it's possible to hit the throttle fully at this apex, then if it's possible also to stay tight with this full throttle, then he can make the exit tighter. And also he can go on the throttle faster. But I think the second apex doesn't matter that much because going as tight here will reduce his the refs. Because if he goes more forward, like the way that I think Marcel is taking, because Marcel is taking this way because his weight is different for his son. I mean, it's kind of different because probably Marcel could take this corner flat out, maybe, I don't know, or it's
I don't even break
so
there.
that's the difference. I mean, that's the difference, huge difference. So I think he should prioritize the first apex. Try to brake early and go on the throttle at the apex or even before the apex if it's possible. Like
I think he's doing that now because he's released from the brakes now, just as we speak. This frame, he's back on gas already. As you said, it's just about maybe do a late apex on the first apex. It's weird to say, but let's take this in isolation. That's late, that's middle, that's early, you would say, right? So go for more in between, right? Like that. And then you're saying, should he stay slightly tighter as well? So take this curb and
I
then
think he should keep the steering angle, the same steering angle for the corner. I think if he could go, because now when he's here, he opens up the steering wheel. He's opening it, but it depends. If it helps the kart to get the extra speed and he gets anything from it, it's okay. But if it's only a matter of the clutch that is going like, but nothing is happening, it's no point of doing that. It's no point.
Really good feedback.
Like, he will cut the meters, the centimeters, and the delta will go down. If he goes tighter, he cuts the extra meters, but it depends on the engine because you can get a kart with quite a good acceleration, and then you can cut these meters like on the exits. You can exit tighter because you have this acceleration from the kart.
Exactly.
But if you get the kart with
to do that.
That's a bad acceleration, then you need to open up this corner.
The corner like he's doing. Yeah, really good point actually. Brian, was this a slow kart, average kart, or fast kart? What would you say this was?
No, he's not here, but
okay. What's your thoughts?
No, this was a really good kart.
Oh, this was a good kart. Yes.
Yeah, basically, I chose one of his fastest laps, and
Then that probably reinforces what Jacob was saying. Try to go slightly tighter because you have the better acceleration. Yeah, it was one of the best karts. That's what he said. Cool.
Really,
I think
really cool, Jacob. Thank you.
I think we got some good analysis, and the only way forward now is to experiment. So to make it fun, the next time you go karting, do one session on the exact same line, except you change it for the second hairpin. So you can try the line Jacob was saying, turn in at the same point, just try to be slightly closer over here. Depending on the kart, faster it is, continue staying slightly tighter. slower it is, maybe open up earlier, or and continue what you're doing. And then on the second session, try the line I was saying. Go deeper into the corner. Try and skip the first part, but get very tight for the second part and cut across the track. And then that'll be conclusive after, which line was faster for you.
Yeah, you have the basics. Now you can experiment. Like that's the only thing that matters right now. So
Yeah.
it will be nice to have the feedback
Yeah.
after it, and maybe if it's possible, the video. So we will see what's really faster. So yeah, I'm really interested in it because it would be easier for us, probably for Omar and for me, if we would drive on this track. Then we will know everything.
Absolutely. That's
kind of hard to judge from the only watching. Like
You're invited when you're in the Netherlands. Give me a call or a heads up.
Okay.
It's definitely on the bucket list. Let's put it that way.
Yep. The track looks absolutely amazing. I love those outdoor tracks because it's something different to what I experience every day. I started my journey in karting from the outdoor tracks, so I'm kind of missing it. But all of the main championship that I'm doing is in the indoor, so that's the main focus right now. But I love the outdoors, and when it's an opportunity, I'm going.
So there you go, Brian. You got lots of things to try out. Take feedback if it was a slow kart, quick kart next time, and obviously on the lines. We'd love to know. Was there anything else, Marcel?
Just one thing. I'm going to bed now because I have 5.5 hours before my alarm is going. So
I'll let you head out. That's not a problem.
I'll see you next time.
It's been a pleasure as always. Thank you for joining
again. Thank you again, both.
Take care.
Ciao.
Hello, James. What's up, James? Can you hear us?
Yeah, hi. Just wanted to join and listen in.
Welcome, James. Where are you joining us from?
Just in Devon, in England.
Amazing.
The southwest, yeah.
It's the first time you've joined Track Help, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
I believe you've just joined the academy as well, right?
Yeah, just this minute. I just noticed there was a live stream, so I just joined there just to see what's going on. It seems really interesting.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Which tracks do you drive at? Are you quite regular in karting, or you do it for fun?
I just I used to do it a lot, and then got back into it at the end of last year. A local indoor track in the southwest, and it's just been such fun. So the last 6 months getting back into it and trying to eke out half a second at the local track.
That feeling getting back into karting is always the best, because you warm up certain muscles again. It's also meeting other regular drivers. What's your local track? What's the name of it?
It's called Race World in Exeter. So it's
Race World. Wow, I haven't been there before. Is it electric or petrol?
It's petrol, yeah. I'm not sure what CC they are, but they're pretty decent for the size of the track. It's a 400-meter track. Quite a lot of grip, so it's good. Yeah.
Have you tried any of the outdoor tracks in UK, like Daytona or Boxmoor Park, places like this?
There's one near me called, it used to be called Mansell Raceway. They changed it to Dunkeswell Raceway. I've been there once in the wet about 2 months ago. It was a lot of fun. Pouring down rain.
Mansell Raceway. Okay, excellent.
Good English weather.
Well, there's lots of opportunities in UK for karting, whether you just want to do it casually. I know there's a big indoor championship, BIKC. Have you heard of that at some of the team sport tracks?
I've seen it on YouTube, but I haven't been to them, no.
BIKC is amazing because you have a national championship at the end of the year. So there's 30 team sport tracks around the UK, all indoors. They have a qualifier, which is basically this month and next month. So you go to your local track. If you can set one of the top 5 timings, then you'll go to regionals. And then the top 3, I think, from each region sort of go to the national finals. And then there's like a big prize for that. So it's just, they're promoting, arrive and drive indoor karting. But that's something you can look into at a later stage if you're interested, of course. And I'd say also some outdoor tracks. Outdoor karting you can't beat, especially in the summer now. The weather's good and there's lots of events going on.
Yeah, definitely. What did you say that was? The BIKC? Was it?
BIKC, yeah, British Indoor Karting Championship.
Okay, I'll look
And if
that
you
one up.
Harry,
perform well in
you
it-
must know.
Yeah, if you perform well in it, so like you have regionals, so you have like weight classes, and then the top 24 in the qualifiers go up. So you have until the end of September, just until the end of August, I think, to get a license and qualify. You set 3 of your lap times, and they get merged together, and they go into an average. Like they automatically do it for you. If you make the top 24, you go to the local final, and then I think the top 6 go into the regional finals. The top 3. And then the regional finals are like local tracks going to like a track quite far away. And then if you do well in there, you'll go up to nationals. And if you do well, you can join Club 100, which I'm sure you've heard of before. You get a
Club
full
100, are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I'd love to do that. That's Buckmore Park, is it? I've seen.
It's around the UK. So you have
Right.
there's a Northern Championship and a Southern Championship they offer, and there's also a national one. But with the BIKC, if you place first in your class, it's a fully paid for race, fully paid for season in a national or Southern. The Southern's 8-rounder, the Northern's a 5-rounder, and then second gets a full race, and I think third gets just an academy day to test out the cars, like an hour of racing with them, I believe.
Yeah, there's plenty of options there, and of course, if you have a group of friends who you go regularly with, you should plan to do some kind of an endurance race in the year, and these are from 3-hour to 24-hour races. So it's all about teamwork. You have to devise a strategy, and there's lots of different outdoor tracks, especially who do endurance races. So it's something that we always love to do at least once a year.
Thank you. That's really helpful. I have lots to look up now. Yeah, I'm going to start with the BIKC and just look into that first and register for it. But yeah,
there you go. Qualifiers have already started now, so look around your area and see where your local track is.
Yep.
But I recommend getting a team sport membership because you need it to qualify to register, and then also you can do the members nights where the track's nice and warm and you get to meet all the fast people who can teach you how to be quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Spot on. Thank you. Well, with the membership, you get perks like the entry, discounted sessions, I think is as well, and then the members night that Harry was saying is probably the best time to drive because they do long sessions, even 50 laps straight, some of them, and it's with fast drivers, so you learn from each other, give you tips and tricks, and it's something different to just the normal arrive and drive where it's against random people.
Brilliant.
Keep us posted, James. I'm going to move on to I'm going to move on to Jeremy. What's up, Jeremy?
Hello.
Welcome back. Have you done any karting lately? Have you visited the track?
No, it's not until a couple of weeks I'm going back.
Awesome. Do you have any footage you wanted to go through for today, or are you just joining?
I'm just joining.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome to join. And it's nice to see lots of new people. I'm just going to go to the chat, and then I'm going to go to Jacob. It looks like had lots of people engaging. Are simulators good for practice? I think that I could win against my dad. He has experience driving road cars, but not racing experience. In karting, because I have a simulator. Well, I think you can do all the laps you want on the sim. I'll teach you the basics, but nothing replaces real life track time. And what you'll find, especially if you've just done sim, when you do real life, the physicality is different, especially in karts. Going to get thrown around in the kart seat a lot. The forces will be more intense, and then of course how you handle the sort of grip on the track. That's going to be different to just a standard a game. Any thoughts on that, guys, as well? Simulated versus real life. Feel free to give your opinion.
The sim is good if you're doing a track day. I did a track day at Castle Combe.
Excellent.
And there is that track on R Factor. They're really good for learning the circuit.
Yeah.
If it's a realistic sim. But obviously, with karting, it's again, I'd just say karting's much more fun because you're there, your kart's set up, and you're feeling all the forces much more quickly.
Yeah.
You can drive on the limit almost instantly. Just a little bit of feedback on that one.
Very true. It's very useful for learning a track, and especially if you haven't done it before, visually, you pick up so much. We have got somebody put a comment. I think I missed it. Harry, I'm gonna have to go now. Maybe we can arrange to go over the next track, which is Rye House. Okay. Harry, I didn't know that you wanted to, if you wanted to do a track today, but no problem. Next time we'll do Rye House for Club 100. So hopefully next week. Let's move on to Jacob. Jacob, you had some questions.
So it's not really a question connected to what you're doing right now, but it's a question that's strictly connected with karting. So basically,
yeah.
Most of the championships or races, league races, championship, everything that I do has a very, let's say, particular scheme. Like there is a special way that the championship is held. So most of the time, before the race, there is only one lap shootout quali. So you got the cards, and you only got only one lap to make your qualifying lap. So you got the out lap, then you are stopped on the track, and you are let go in the gaps, so you won't collide with anybody else on the track. And the most important thing is this out lap, because you need to get to know the card as much as you can, how to brake, how to handle it, and everything else. And from my perspective, and from many years, I started to practice during my normal heats when I'm on track. I started practicing qualifying laps. So because those are important, because in the most of the races that I do, the let's say the pack of the drivers is very tight. Like the level is, how the level in Belgium is. Yeah.
A few hundreds between
crazy. Yeah. So it's important. And practicing the qualifying is important. But sometimes when it comes to extracting those extra tenths or maybe those thousands, it's kind of hard for me. Like, I mean, maybe on my local track, it's not a problem, because last year when we had this Polish Indoor Kart Championship, I had a good qualifying streak, even though I did not have a good cards for the qualifying, because the card you will draw, it's for qualifying and for the race. So that's how it goes. And then we go to the semifinals, and semifinals work in a kind of different way, because semifinals are for top 48 drivers, divided into 3 groups for semifinals. So we got 3 semifinals, and let's say they make the general classification from each semifinal, and the driver with the most points on championship from the semifinal is the first one from this classification from the semifinal with the most points is driving with the guy who is 16th in the pair, and the second guy is driving with the 15th. So the main things, we are divided into pairs. There are 8 pairs. So let's say, because we got those 16 drivers, okay? So the pairs work like that. So basically, you are in pair with somebody else. You drive one qualifying lap, then you stop at the track, change the cards, and do another lap. And the time is sum up from those 2 cards, and the guy who is faster goes through to the next pair, and he can choose the card that he wants to keep. That's the thing.
Wow.
And so I'm not going. So that's how it works until you got this last pair. and
Yeah.
the guy who wins the last spur is the winner and starting first, basically. And the other guys are set from the general classification on something like this. So
Yeah.
basically, last time I managed to be in the so the first pair, I won the first pair with ease, won second pair with ease, took good card the next pair, and my third pair, because you can only go 4 pairs, like the maximum, because there are only 16 drivers. The third pair, I faced Ruben Botens. So
wow.
yeah, on my local track. So
okay.
I already knew that it's gonna be a hard one. And Ruben is also a great qualifier. Like, he knows how to extract everything from the cart. So I did a lap in my cart, which was, let's say, a good one. And on my cart in qualifying, I only lost a 10th to him. But when I got his cart, I got his cart, he backed me up for 10th and a half. And I know where I made the mistake. I know it. But the thing is, like, how should I approach the qualifying? I mean, I think I should go with open mind, but it's really hard to, let's say, hit those perfect breaking points, like be as late as possible, turn in the perfect way. Like, you need to be like a robot. It's really hard. I know that practice makes perfect, but I think maybe you have some mindset for that. And also, do you think that when you are already at some level, you should train those qualifying laps, because it's important in those type of championship, because in the qualifying races, you collect as much points as possible. The qualifying races are not long. You have only 15 laps, and if you qualifying badly, let's say 10th, you will probably make only 3 places maximum in the race, and the points are gone, like, basically. So the qualifying is really important. Even if you have a bad card, you can still extract something in qualifying. And I had many races where I had a slower card, let's say the medium one, mediocre, and I still managed to finish on the podium. So I could. But when it comes to the semifinal, there are no longer the slower drivers. So so I managed to qualifying third in the semifinal, also came third in the semifinal, and then we went to the final. So the final, top 16 from the championship.
Correct.
First pair, first card, did amazing job.
Yeah.
On the second card, I made a mistake. It wasn't a big one, but I just went on throttle too early.
Yeah.
My wheels went like, I lost the rear, basically. It wasn't a big loss. It was like a 10th.
Oh, okay. So not the spin out or anything.
It was enough to lose the pair. I mean, I lost by a 10th, the first pair. And I knew that if I did not make this mistake, I would probably go through, and the next guy in my pair would be an easier one. So that was the main thing. And maybe, I don't know how to even ask this question. Is it more about approach or mindset, practice? How would you come to that? Like,
so it's basically one out lap, one qualifying lap, and then you change the cart.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's very.
And when you change the cart, you do not have this one out lap. You only got like one corners, and then you go for the lap. So the second cart is like an unknown.
Yeah. That's actually incredible. I mean, that level of organization is very elite for rental karting.
Well, if you want to, I can show the footage of it, because it's on YouTube.
Yeah, go for it.
So I will send you a link to the semi-final.
Yeah. So we're literally looking at 2 separate laps. That's it. That's all the qualifying is.
Just give me a second.
Yeah. James, thanks for sharing your footage. If you're happy to just stand by, we can review this after Jacob, and we'll take a look at it.
Can I ask something really quick?
Go for it, Jeremy.
Sure. So when you went to Sandown,
yes,
what were the main differences of the D-Max and Sodi, or was it just the speed?
Oh, great question. Great question. Actually, I've got a full video on D-Max versus Sodi. That was uploaded like last year. I'll send you a link. But the main thing is the speed and the braking. Those are two things. So what you have to be mindful of in a D-Max is because it's now a Rotax engine, 2-stroke engine. The way you apply the accelerator is different to a typical 4-stroke kart. In the 4-stroke karts, it can be quite aggressive. You can be full on the power basically from the moment you apply it. With a D-Max, it's a bit more gradual, and also the revs take a bit more time to build up on a D-Max. So you put your foot down, and there'll just be a slight delay of like half a second, and then it'll suddenly spike. So you got to be mindful of that. Because you're carrying more speed, then your braking is a lot more important. Actually, a lot of time is lost under braking in D-Max, because if you brake too late, you're going to kill all the revs, and on the exit of the corner, you'll be almost a sitting duck. Because then to build up the speed again, you have that delay, which is specific to those engines. What you want to do in D-Max is find the balance between for braking, threshold braking and trail braking, because some corners you would trail brake, but some corners you threshold brake. More importantly, whenever you brake, always try and do it early, because your objective is to keep the revs as high as possible. You're still dealing with a rental kart chassis. I know the engine is 2-stroke and it's a Rotax Junior Max, but because the chassis is still a rental kart, you can still drive it aggressively, like a rental car. So even if the rear end steps out a bit, there's a bit of sliding, you can get away with that. So early braking promotes you to be on the gas earlier and accelerate through the corners. That's the biggest differences.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
No.
Sorry.
Oh no. So I'm 15, so I'm not old enough to drive the D-Max, and I might get assessed because you can do that. So I'm just wondering, like, what was the main differences? What should I do?
Check out this link I put in the in the chat, YouTube link, and I'll just go over general comparison, two laps at the same track, and then just some tips to know.
Oh, okay.
Jacob, let's go to your footage.
Yeah. So
and then we'll come to Stevie after as well. Stevie, just stand by. I wanted to chat with you after as well about is it the cart that you purchased? I know you had some questions. Amazing. How are you for time, Stevie?
I'm all right.
Cool. Let's watch Jacob's footage. Have a quick break after that. Right. This is PIKC, so Polish Indoor Karting Championship. Is that correct?
Yeah, and you got the commentary in English, so basically go straight to the 1 hour 37 mark, because
this is awesome. This is a proper live stream.
Yeah. We also got a guy from England who will comment. So, we got it. So now we got the last 2 pairs. So basically, thing is, my teammate is set up. His name is Max, and he's set up with the other Belgian driver, like Victor Poirot, who's amazing. And I'm in a pair with Ruben. So you will see in a second what comes here. So starting the lap. So basically, here you got me. Yep. And here you got Ruben. On the table. Yeah, so I'm in a pair with Ruben. Max is in pair with Victor.
Okay.
Yeah. So
you're on track now.
Yeah, and this is the first heat with my cart. Yeah. So you will see.
Cart 28, I believe it is. No, cart 4. Cart 4.
Cart 4, yeah. Maybe I made a mistake with the difference. Maybe Ruben kicked me more my ass, but I don't know. We will see the difference. So yeah. Overall, the lap was okay. Maybe I braked too early in some places, but the speed was okay in the apex. Maybe I should go later on the brakes. We will see. So
you're doing the lap now in the background?
Yeah, finished. 33.637.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Ruben 482 in his cart.
Okay.
I think he managed to do 0.4 in both of them, so he found this extra time. So basically, I lost my first round to Ruben by, let's say, not quite a match. I mean,
a couple of tenths, yeah.
Yeah, 10.5. You
Yeah,
know,
10.5, you're right.
You see the difference between those guys, yeah?
And theirs is like, yeah, 0.01, 0.1 as well.
So now we will change the cards, and I think the gap on the other card was the same. So I lost the perf.
That's fascinating that this layout exists. I've never seen this before, but it's wow, one unique layout for indoor rental karting.
I mean, it's this event is quite specific because we also got the outdoor layout. You cannot see it right now, but when we go into straight, you can see here changing the cards.
Oh, okay, you're changing the cards.
On the
Where
right,
are you? You're on the right.
Yeah. And
Awesome.
Ruben's on the left, yeah. In this card skin suit, yeah.
The card skin suit. I was gonna say.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How much weight are you adding compared to him?
I mean, I think Ruben is about the same weight, but the distribution is kind of different because he got everything on the left side, and I've got like something under my butt, and then the less is on the left side. But from now, I started to drive with the weight more on the left side because I made some calculations, and with my weight, I can go with this in the board.
Okay.
I can put this weight on the left side, and it still should be okay while driving. So, and it's okay.
And this is it.
It is. So let's see the second one. I think this one was worse, like 2 tenths maybe to Ruben.
See on the table here. Yeah, you're talking about maybe Barton's and Bergill going through. So Barton sets a time 43.4.
Yeah, you see,
43.4.
And it's 2 tenths, like it's basically the same, like 10.5 to Ruben on both cards. It's not much, but it is.
What about Poira 43.5?
I think that's in the fine differences of it might be one corner, or his exit might have been better on one. Were you able to ever follow him on track, like bumper to bumper?
You can see. So if you move forwards a little bit, like here we go even more because you wait for the race setup. So because there will be one.
We're gonna see the race, right?
Yeah, you're gonna see the race with commentary. So you got the pair maxes with Ruben won, but a tiny bit. I mean, few thousands. Oh yeah. So here we go.
Sorry, I just skipped it. You're third.
So, yeah, I am third. Yeah.
Awesome.
Ruben is first. Max, my teammate Max is second, and I am third. Yeah.
Really bunched up behind him. Will we see action in turn 1? Everyone's really tight, side by side at the back. There's a lot of pushing and shoving. Gaspar.
So basically, the card that I was given from Ruben had one thing in common. It would not like to steer to the left side. It was a crap. Like literally, I could not steer to the left side. Managed to finish third, but it was a nightmare for me. I could not even. The understeer in the left-handers was crazy.
Oh, through that left corner, right? That we just went through.
From every left corner, like
every
the biggest loss was from the exit out of the second one. So here we go on the start-finish straight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here you got the first corner. It was all right, and the second one, it was a crap. This one was a crap. Like
I can see the distance open up already.
And I could not do anything. And also this one from the right one on the outdoor was perfect, but the left one coming back to the indoor.
Yeah, the guy bumped
not
you.
Do anything. But you can see it's close.
Yeah,
it's really close.
Every left, I know. Look, the guy behind is just right there. Those are the worst carts, actually. I have to be honest. And there's a lot of left-hand corners, on this configuration.
Yeah, we drive in both directions, so it depends which direction will be set for each race. So it's basically goes like normal, reverse, and it's like that. But for the semis and final, they make a draw for it. Like so, it's not like going in the scheme. It's they take a dice and roll it, and then we know in which direction we are going.
It's all probability and chance.
Yeah,
But
so
the
I was
top two are
I
just
was losing
pulling away.
time mainly. I knew in this race that if I had a better cart that would behave like I would like it to, so it would turn. I think I could probably follow them easier and challenge for the victory.
I guess now are you defending third or are you working
No,
together?
I'm just driving. I know that the victor behind me, he knows what he needs to do because it's a semi-final. The most important thing is to get enough points to get into the final because only top 16 qualifies. So only top 16 qualifies, and so basically our job is to get as much points from this race. Also, we've got some top 4 of the pairs shootout who get points. So the winner gets 4 points. The guy who is second gets 3 points. The guy who is third, me, I've got 1 point. Oh, and also the guy who is fourth. I mean, maybe more points even. I don't know. Top 4 gets points from this person. That's why it's important because you get those extra points for general classification. Yeah, from this person.
I guess you just got unlucky then with the cart.
Yeah, basically, Ruben left me with a shitty one. So.
Yeah. Oh, because it's the winner's choice, which one he keeps.
Yeah,
and then...
the per winner has to make a decision.
No, of course he'll take the better one. No, it makes sense.
Of course, because the race is the thing that matters. Like
yeah. I guess. So going back to your original question then about should I practice one shot quali? I think absolutely. Because at the end of the day, it's about being as comfortable and relaxed when you do this competition. Of course, when the competition comes, the mental side of it kicks in. You naturally get more nervous. There's more at stake, but nothing beats experience and familiarity. When you do a typical qualifying session, like the current championship I'm competing in, they give you 12 minutes. 12 minutes is a typical, arrive and drive session duration. And, we've done hundreds of those. So it's whenever I approach that quali, I say, well, this is just another arrive and drive. And it's plenty of time. Moment you start doing one shot and, one out lap and one lap only, yeah, you should be trying to simulate that in your practice. Just because as a driver, you're very experienced and you need to think within one lap, I need my peak performance. And that's really where, drivers like Ruben as well, they thrive because they're at that elite level where he's able to get on the pace straight away. And I think the same with you as well. I reckon you might have lost a bit just to him specifically because of the weight. He's heavier, right, than you?
Yeah.
Like body weight we're talking.
Yeah, because he was 80 kilos, or he only had to put 10 kilos on the side.
Okay, and you had to put how much?
15.
Yeah,
but not on the side. Not on the side. I think I've made it something like I've put 10 kilos under my butt and 5 on the side.
Like that. Honestly, it is like that. When it comes to weight, the moment you start putting 5-10 kilos more, you're limited. Really, I've seen that time and time again, even in my own performance. When I put 15 kilos, when I put 10 kilos, there's a big difference. That's why I try to ballast as close to the weight as possible, or try to be as heavy as possible before a competition, because I know even those few kilos can matter. But were you struggling to get peak performance within one lap? Like, do you think that's a good timing for you that you did, or that's the best you could have got out?
I think I could have gone better. Like I knew where the time was at this point.
A lot better, you feel?
A lot better. I think I could go only a 10th behind him at this time because it was my peak form back then. Like on
it was right. Yeah. You were.
I think I'm close to it now, but basically I'm not training so much because we are. Next month, Saudis will come to our track, so that's why I'm not really focused on Remos, but I mainly do the practice, like the qualifying practice also for the league races. Yeah. And also on our early classes, we also have this one quali shootout. So
you have that, yeah. Then it's a good way to practice that as well. But more than anything, I think it's a mental game. You can overthink something. You can overthink that lap, and especially when there's so much pressure on it, because that's the only lap that will count. So clearing your mind, and I think the best way to do that is when you have so much experience of that format, or training yourself to do those one shot laps in practice. It should become easier for you to cope with. See, if you've never done one shot practice in your before, then it's something new, right, on the race day. So try to simulate that as much as possible, I would say. And I think hold yourself accountable. Write down each lap time and which kart it was, and do it across different karts, and see the difference in timings, a difference in how mentally you were feeling. Were you overthinking one of the laps, or did it feel easier this time? Setting out a strategy like that in your training, so when it comes to the race, you're prepared.
Yeah, basically, when it comes to such a competition, I'm not changing anything. Like, we've got those 3 days of practice heats where we have those 10 minutes shootouts, and this is basically the last time to make any changes. Like, I'm going. The main thing is I'm not even changing the driving or anything else. I just have to adapt to the grip level.
Yeah, you're right. That's
the thing. Because the grip on this in this time of the year, when peak is happening, like, it's on another level. I mean, it's so high. Like, you can basically go slightly wider, slightly tighter, and the kart will grip.
Like, absolutely.
Yeah.
It becomes narrower and narrower, right? The line with the more grip there is.
So basically, and so the funny thing is that Victor, who was driving behind me,
oh no, oh, he's gone. Yeah,
he's
that
gone.
was him.
Yeah, that was him. And very unfortunate for him, but because he would qualify for a final with this performance, would be enough for him. But his kart.
What happened here?
Yeah, you can see he lost the wheel, left rear.
Oh, rear left. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen like really often. It's
yeah.
It's kind of sad. But you can see that the gap to Max, the guy in front of me, it's quite the same. Nothing changes. What is an interesting tactic that Ruben makes in this race? I think you should go forward to let's say you have these 6 laps on the top. Go to the 3 laps left. You will see something interesting. So basically, Ruben knows.
How many total laps are there?
I think in semi also 15.
So it's about here, right?
Yeah. So what's the important thing now? Ruben realizes that he's not the fastest guy on the track.
Okay.
Max has made his pit stop. Ruben has to make his pit stop, and I have to make my pit stop. So the pit stop is
as well. Yeah. Wow.
So basically, I think Ruben makes his pit stop now to not let
the undercut, right?
Or maybe I do it now. Yeah,
you do it. Yeah.
So basically, Ruben will make it like 1 lap later or something. Yeah. So I'm in the pits.
Can you gain a lot in the pit?
Yeah, but my pit was a shitty one because there was. I need to tell you a backstory about it. The driver behind me, look, bluster driver, another bluster driver. He's Thomas Hagelstein. He made such a, sorry for the language, such a dick move.
He's pushing you.
The pit stop, you need to start at the specific time to not invalidate. You see these green times on the pit stop. You need to be 20 seconds at least at the exit. So what he did, he pushed my back of the kart to move me slightly in front. So I had to stop again and then go on the accelerator again to not invalidate my pit stop.
Right. That's it.
And I prefer to do that instead of losing a race. So my pit stop was, let's say, a
21, right?
Second. Yeah, and the pit stop that I normally do is 20.2.
Yeah, there you go. Nearly a second.
Yeah.
And that adds up. 1 second is a lot.
Yeah, but you can see the gap from Max and from me. It's like, let's say, 5 kart lengths now. So
yeah, it's
if
not
we
that.
get the Ruben
no.
in the bottom left, he will
Mhm.
now pit, I think, and you will see what happens next. So as I said, Ruben realized that he's not the fastest guy on the track. The
he had
points
to be.
matter because you also get the point for the fastest lap of the race.
Oh, okay. This
Okay,
is
and
amazing.
he's fighting with Rico
Mm.
Harbosch for the championship right now. I think they are both on equal points right now.
Let's see his pit stop. He got 20.4. Okay,
Yeah,
not bad.
so
not
Max
bad.
is behind, right behind him.
Oh, that was close. If you look
Yeah,
at
it was-
them coming out,
Yeah,
he
so-
just catches him on the corner exit.
Yeah,
But pretty much the same, I'd say.
yeah. So nothing changed, but you will see that there is a slightly gap. So if Max wants to, he can do this kind of and quali out lap. Let's say he can exit the last corner, make an entry to the last corner wider, and start the lap in a specific way to make. And you see, let's just go backward a few seconds.
Yeah, you'll see.
So the guy.
Sorry, bro. I think you're muted.
So the guys at this gate, like here, this right one, you see here is a bluster guy. I think Eliano, his friend. He showed him that he needs to slow down because already he's not in the contention for any fight right now. He only has Max behind him, and Ruben is gonna defend and slow Max down, so he is not able to make the fastest lap. Because Ruben has it currently. You can see how defensive he will drive. Look,
Whoa, look.
And look how much do I gain at this. Yeah, he's driving like his life.
Like Perez in 2021.
Yeah, so he made a lap 40. He made a 45.6.
Whoa.
And the race lap, the common was like 33.3.
Wow.
So I gained 2 seconds on this lap, and you will see how I'm closing. It's the last lap, lap of the race.
Oh, it's all in the small differences. Yeah, look, he's on defense.
People were going crazy because they thought that something happened with the Ruben's kart, and he's.
I know.
Yeah, but look, defending.
Defending the inside. Bagel to the left. Bagel to the left. He's alongside, but it's.
And look how close I'm gonna come.
To the right.
Yeah, look. Whoa.
Takes from Bagel.
Yeah.
That is very interesting.
Tactics, but that's what to the championship.
So it's all in the small differences. Wow. That's very, very.
You can also look at the best lap, like what Ruben did, Max and I. Look how tight it is.
Yeah, that's 300s, you'd say.
I mean, you've got this
less than
lap.
that, 2900s.
Look, like I mean,
0.029. That's incredible.
Nothing.
But I think you should be happy with what you did in your kart because
I think yes,
you outperformed the kart. That was the most important thing. And when is the next PIKC?
I think we will get to it.
End of the year or?
So basically, end of the holiday, I think 8th to 9th September.
Okay.
Yeah. So we will start from the Wednesday. Thursday and Friday are practice hits, and then we got this Saturday and Sunday driving. Elimination hits, and then on Sunday, and we've got this the last elimination hit and semis and the final.
Awesome. Well, be sure to share a live link on the community page. We'd love to follow the race, and I'm sure you can aim to do top 3 again. You've definitely got the pace.
Well, I would try to be in the final again. I know that it's gonna be hard because the new cards are coming, and I do not have such an experience on Saudi. But
which Saudis are they?
SR5.
SR5s, okay.
Yeah, but I've already driven a race on them here in Poland. The one that I uploaded. So I practice on the different tracks. So
yeah, I think you'll enjoy those ones. They're quite
are
fun.
not bad. They are not bad, especially that we're gonna keep our tires.
Yeah.
The gripper one, and I
Awesome.
think that should be my, let's say, advantage, because I know the track. I mean, the layout will change, but I know the asphalt, the grip levels, the tires. Yeah, it should be my advantage, I think.
So the SR5s are quite heavy, so they shake quite a bit as well.
They are. They are. You need to be really smooth with them. Yeah,
that's it. That's it.
Daytona as well, the ones I drive.
Exactly. That's the one you'll get. Sandown and Milton Keynes as well. They've got them. Personally, I prefer Birel. The lighter and you can be more aggressive. You can really throw those around. So it's like a tank.
Yeah, it's like a tank. Yeah, it's like a tank.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Jacob. It was very
I really appreciate your help. Thank you.
And we hope to have you on one of the next sessions sharing something else as well.
I will try to do so, but mainly on the Sunday evening I got my karting practice, so that's where I practice, because the track is 50 and I have a full track only for me and for my driving colleagues, and we try.
No worries. Try and get some good footage of that if you can as well.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we're gonna move on now as we are gonna wrap up soon. Stevie, I know you've been here from the beginning. Let's quickly have a quick chat about some of your questions you had, and talk me through the cart you're planning to buy.
No, I've already bought it.
You bought it? Wow! So
I bought a rolling chassis of a Cosmic Mercury.
Excellent. So Cosmic cart you got?
Yes.
What engine do you have?
It's a rolling chassis. There's no engine.
Oh, okay. So you're looking to add one in?
Yeah. I don't know whether I want an X30 or a senior.
Yep. Well,
I'm hoping I'll get nudged in the right direction by the group.
No, absolutely. Well, it depends on what your goal is. Is it just a hobby cart? You'll use it for the weekend kind of thing. Honestly, you should go for the one which has more hours in it. So Rotax Senior Max, you can do up to 50 hours. Ayami, you're looking at 8 to 10 hours only before you have to rebuild it. Right. Okay. So it's a big difference. The thing with Ayami, I'd say they're a bit more fun to drive because you have that instant power available and the RPMs are higher. With Rotax, there's equally as fast. You'll have a great time in them, but there's just a bit of a delay in the acceleration. But it's all about longevity, and you don't want to constantly be rebuilding your engine. That's the way you put it at. Personally, I've got Rotax Senior Max, and a lot of people at my kart track, when they bought it new, which was February 2023, let's even say March 2023, it's only now they started rebuilding their karts or the engines. So that's a good year and a few months later. Let's say a year you can get out of it. That's if you're setting a week once, if not 3 times a week, these drivers are doing. Let's say on average you do twice a week. That'll last you a year. And the track time is 1 hour each time. So you do 1 hour of running per session. The thing with especially Rotax karts, you can't run it more than 20-25 minutes in one go, because the engine just gets too hot. So we do 15-minute sessions, 15 break, 15 break, 15 break, and then final 15. And I say you would, number one, you'll get into shape. These are very physical karts. Get yourself a rib protector more than anything, because it's another level of physicality. And where are you going to drive it?
Well, I'm going to start at Brighton. And then, yeah.
That's your local track, right?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
The one that we reviewed some footage on?
Yes, that's the one.
Wow, that's going to be very interesting. It's a very tight track. It's got some straights, but it's very tight. And you're going to be carrying some serious speed heading into that hairpin.
Yeah.
Let me tell you that much.
That brings another question up. Shall I buy a cheap road tax that requires rebuilding, or get an expensive one?
It depends on if it's you're talking used or brand new. Yeah, because as far as I know, I mean, there's no a cheap one or new one. It's just one type of engine for Rotax.
They seem to seal them with a jag seal.
Yeah,
that I think that's only for competition kind of stuff, isn't it?
Exactly.
So I don't want it sealing.
Yeah. So you see, with the seal, that is specific for that championship. So people can't tamper with things.
Yeah.
And once you do once you rebuild the engine, they have to take off the seal. Simple as that.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing any competitions, you can go for, a standard engine, which hasn't been sealed. You can even buy a sealed one, and just when it's time to rebuild, you just tell the mechanic, look, you can take it off, and he'll take it off for you. There's no issue in that.
Yeah, because there's a lot. They're asking sort of £1,200 for a sealed unit.
Yeah.
But that's and the same thing is about £400 without a seal.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
You're better off going for the £400 now.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there's that much of a difference. So you can buy a Rotax engine for £400.
You can buy. There was one on eBay. I think it was last week. Was 375.
375. Used?
Yeah, it was used.
How many hours has it done?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hadn't got the cart at that time.
Yeah. Okay, best to inquire. Just ask how many hours. See, if it's done, close to 40 hours, it's soon time to rebuild. If it's done, 20 hours, you're all right for a while. Ideally, the lower the better.
Yeah, but the thing I've learned is carters tend to lie a lot. They're always faster. Their hours are a lot smaller.
Well, you're gonna have to go through somebody reliable. I wouldn't just go off any guy on eBay, because once you buy the engine, it's your responsibility, especially when it's used.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to know: shall I get an expensive one that's race prepared, or shall I get a cheap one and run it for a little while, run it for 2 or 3 hours, and have it rebuilt? Because I think it costs about £400 to have them rebuilt.
That's impressive, because in the Middle East the prices are not anywhere near that. You're very lucky. That's very good price, I have to say. £400 for a rebuild is excellent. But who is rebuilding it? Is it the official Rotax dealer?
Yeah,
or?
there's Wrights. There's no end of reputable people that rebuild them and reseal them.
The thing is, it's best to go through a kart team, because they have.
Where I got the rolling chassis from a kart.
Super. Which team was it?
I don't know which team it was. I've got it. The guy at Blighton, they deal with the team, and he just got it for me.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. So it's best to be in contact. Yeah.
It's real good neck.
Yeah. I'd explain your needs to the guy or the team. Say, look, it's just a hobby kart, and you use it once, maybe twice a week. Give me an engine that works, that's not going to just blow up or stop working after one session. And ideally, if he can sell you an engine which has it's basically a counter and almost a digital count of how many hours it does. So if it doesn't have that, I'd buy one. It's very, very cheap onto your engine straight away, so you're able to keep track of the hours it's done. Otherwise, buy one which has a counter already, and that verifies, obviously from the time they attached it, how many hours it's done.
So what do you think to the hubs then?
That's regards to
the wheel hubs.
So you've basically just got the chassis.
Yeah, I've just got a rolling chassis.
Yeah, you're gonna have to add a lot of stuff onto it. It depends on which tire you're going for. I'm gonna send you a link. Mondo Kart. It's a very, very good website. So Mondo Kart, they give you a full list of kart parts for your chassis. If you just check the chat now, sent it. Now, under the category of they have Cosmic. If you click on Cosmic Kart, they'll show you everything from in different categories: brake system, axle and support.
Are these English?
This is English. So I would recommend getting the OTK wheel hub.
Yeah.
So have you got that website open on your side?
Yeah.
Is it in English?
Yeah, it seems to be in English.
And then there should be like a menu bar on the left side. Can you locate them? You know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna share my screen. Right.
Well, I've got two screens. So you're on one and Mondo's on the other.
No worries. You can just go back to the meet. Perfect. You able to see Mondo Kart?
Yeah.
All right. So best to use it from your laptop or PC, so you have a bigger display. Scroll down on the left-hand side, you'll see a list of karts. So you'll be looking for Tony Kart, Cosmic, basically the same thing. And here, this one, we got all these different parts, which are for Cosmic or OTK. You were asking about wheel hubs, so you click on wheel hubs, front, rear, and then you got all of this. They generally have sale on, like these are all 10% off. I'd honestly get any one of these. It really doesn't make a difference. Even if it's one of the cheaper ones, it really doesn't matter, because you're just looking for plug and drive.
Plug and play.
Yeah, plug and play. That's it. Tires wise as well.
I was given a set of tires.
You've given it a perfect.
Yeah, I'll tell you what they're on.
Vegas are ones that I tend to use. They're pretty good. Soft compound. Mondo Kart give a good price as well. They're already discounting them. Otherwise, you can go for Mojo. Not sure if they don't have Mojo in stock. Well, they have all of these. Easy Kart, Comet. Yeah, Comet is very good. Comet as well.
I was given a set of red Mojo.
Red Mojos, yeah, excellent. Are they used?
Yeah, they've done about 10 laps.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
They were done in practice.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Then finally, this is a very important bit of kit you should buy for your card, if I can get it up. It's a Micron.
A Micron?
So Micron is...
Oh, that's
Micron Alfano. Uniprint. It's basically the dash.
Yes.
these are all the cables. Sensor exhaust. They have all the sensors for it. Okay, here. It looks similar to this. This is a Uni Pro. All the telemetry will come up on here. So speed, braking, engine temperature, and lap time. So it's very, very nice for analysis. You connect it by the back through a cable, and then you connect that directly to the engine. So it's quite a costly investment, but definitely worth it. Definitely worth the purchase. More importantly, I don't know how you are for tools and things like that. Do you have a full set at your?
Yeah, I've got a garage full of tools.
Super. You're going to be constantly working away at small things. Just a heads up. So, be prepared is what I say.
Yeah.
You'll find that it keeps some spark plugs on the side. Those you regularly have to change.
Yeah.
Have you got a cart trolley?
Not yet, no.
Cart trolley is very important. You'll probably see in my virtual background all these carts.
Yeah.
Cart trolley, just very easy to obviously move it around. To do work on it, especially on the underside of the cart, let's say changing tires, you need to put it on a trolley. And how about storage? Have you got a place to keep it?
It's in the back room at the minute.
Back room.
Yeah. It's a good job I live on my own with that, a woman.
You're free to do use the house for cart storage.
Yeah.
Well, how about transporting it? Have you thought about that? Are you near to the track or?
Well, I'm about 5 minutes from the track.
Not bad.
But I have thought about once it's up and running, so to speak.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a trailer.
Yeah.
And put it on the top of a trailer.
Absolutely. Honestly, if you're only 5 minutes away and you're regular at the track, be trying to arrange for some storage there. If they can just lend you a place.
I've asked about storage, and that they do storage, but it's £100 a month.
£100 a month. Whoa, and
I think that's
they obviously want to make some money out of it. Yeah, that's just an added cost.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do is send you a list of things to add to your sort of inventory or wish list. Cart cover, simple thing like that. It's just so it's like a cover to put over your cart.
Yeah.
Chain lube. That's very important. Before you go out for every session, just spray chain lube. 2-stroke oil and petrol. Have you thought about how you're going to get petrol?
Yeah, I've got a load of petrol containers.
Excellent. So jerry can.
Yeah.
Have one of those. You need to put 2-stroke oil mixed inside. So I believe it's the ratio is it's 5 liter petrol, 100 milliliters of 100 milliliters 2-stroke oil, 10 liters 200 milliliters of 2-stroke oil. Put that all in the jerry can, give it a good shake, and then put it into your cart. Yeah, don't put it without that 2-stroke oil.
Yeah.
Tire pressures. That's very, very important. You need some kind of a tool to check the tire pressures and try and run it. To start off at something like 11 psi for everything, and then work around that. You see, as soon as you put 11 psi in, you go out on track, the tires tend to inflate. So you'll come back in and it'll be like 15. So that's something you constantly need to check. Have a gauge for that, and somewhere you can put air in as well, because that tends to happen where your tire can just go flat. So down standby. I think those are basically all the basic things to get up and running. Reason I can tell you these essential things is because at our track, the kart owner scene is very new. It was only established last year, where they would allow you to bring your kart and drive it on certain days. Everything beyond that is DIY. Even mechanics and things. Until a few months ago, we didn't have anyone, so we had to do this all DIY. Bring your own fuel in, make sure your kart is set up right. So it's been an amazing experience, because we had a community of 2-3 guys who bought karts last year to now 25. So we're all helping each other. We all got similar karts. A lot of people go for the Birel chassis, which is the ones you see behind me. That's all Birel. And then, like myself and others, we go for the OTK Tony kart, which is basically branches out to things like Lando Norris kart, Cosmic kart. There's many others like that as well. So these are all basic parts. Obviously, you're going to collect them over time. And yeah, another thing with Rotax, you need to keep a battery. You'll need a battery for starting it up. It's an electrical component, so that you sort of charge. I would charge at the end of every session you do.
Well, I used to ride motorbikes.
Excellent.
I've got a trickle charger.
Yeah.
And that will end up on the cart, I should imagine.
Yeah, try out. It's very similar, actually.
Is it 6 or 12 volts?
Let me check that for you real quick. Let me check, because just recently somebody took a photo of their battery. It's 6.
Okay.
No, sorry, 12 volts. 12 volts, that's what you'll need.
Yeah.
And you should be ready to go. So keep me posted, Stevie. Send over some photos as well on the community page. I'd love to see your build in progress. That's always something fascinating, when someone builds a kart. And you might inspire other people on the group to follow that. So if you're able to document it, and, just some photos each time you add something. What I would recommend, if you want to document it, create an initial post, and then just reply to that post on the community page each time with, with updates.
Yeah.
So you have a timeline of events, and you can see your progress. And once you start putting things, people will interact as well. If you need any help, any questions, just put it out there. We'll try and help you out as well.
Well, I threw the hubs up.
Yep.
I've only had one person comment on them so far.
You see, with the owner carts, it's a smaller community after that. I think a lot of people on the group are doing rental carts, so it's new for a lot of people, the owner cart scene. But if you need a second opinion, just let me know as well.
I'll book you to death.
I'll be happy to help you out.
Super.
Thank you so much for joining, Stevie. We're going to.
I'll be here next week.
Absolutely. Just before we move on to James, let's admit Ethan. Welcome, Ethan. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Sorry. Hello.
How are you, Ethan?
Yeah,
Welcome.
I'm doing good. How are you?
Well, thank you. Where are you joining us from?
I'm joining you from Midnight France.
Midnight France.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. It's your first time at the academy, is that correct?
Yeah, that's my first time. I've been watching a lot of your videos since the last months, but that's the first time I'm in the academy actually. I finally did my choice.
Welcome. I'm going to send you guys. Well, it's actually yourself and James who've both joined from today's live stream, which is awesome. I just need to send you the welcome message, which I'll go ahead and do now. Just to give you guys sort of a run through, we've got drivers from all over the world joining, and we want to keep this as interactive as possible, whether it's the live discussions, which we do every Sunday. You can submit your footage, you can ask questions. If you've got a track map of some sort you want to go through, be happy to go through that. And then on the community page, which is the main portal on the Academy, feel free to put any questions there as well. Any race experiences, any footage of that sorts as well. It's always good to get a discussion going. And do you have any particular footage you want to go through now, or any questions?
Yeah, I have something, actually.
Awesome. Is it a YouTube link or?
Well, I can put it on YouTube very fast if you want, but mostly it was a file I have, but I will do it
if you're able to put it as an unlisted link, if you don't want to put it public, just put it as an unlisted link real quick, and then just send it over. We can take a look through it.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to head over to James now, and then we can come back to you once once it's ready. Yeah.
No worries.
James, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Thank you for your patience. Actually,
that was interesting. An insight into the kart owner world.
Yeah, that's it.
So much involved. I forgot. I mean, I have had karts, but again, like I said, it was 15 years ago. I forgot about chain lube and maintenance and everything like that. It's just kart covers, getting the kart to the track,
Yeah. So which?
It's all worth it though once you get there.
Which kart did you have?
It was. I had a few. It was a Swiss Hutless with a Perilla direct drive engine.
Yep.
Which was old when I got it as well. So I'm not that old. But it was a local track. At the time we were living near Reading, and there was an outdoor circuit there, which was quite narrow and really rough and ready, but it was worth it getting there. And once it worked, I mean the direct drives are a lot of fun, but they're very temperamental, but really high revving. So that was good.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure Stevie's going to enjoy his kart once it's up and running.
Definitely.
And it's all part of the process, the build and then it's a lot of maintenance. I must say, we're lucky with rental karts. It's just arrive and drive, But the reward is in the speed and I guess the physicality as well of that. It's pure racing with owner karts. I've got your footage over here, and this is an epic indoor karting session, and we got Exeter Race World, which is
it's about like 3 minutes in is pretty a clear run on the track.
Awesome. And this is a typical arrive and drive session.
Yeah, so you get 2 10-minute sessions with like a 15-minute break. And you just arrive and drive. Yeah, so this was literally about a week ago.
I love the decorations inside. They got these trees, and it looks very friendly, I have to say.
Yeah.
So this is the start of a lap, basically.
Yeah, that's the lap there.
Super.
Yeah.
I just want to take a few laps to get an understanding of the layout. And so you've been going here quite regularly for 6 months, you were saying?
Yeah, so it started in December.
Awesome. And do you sort of go every week, every month?
Yeah, I've been going probably every week at the minute. So since the end of last year, I went on Friday last week, and then it was like a friendly endurance race about. Well, I think it was the week before last. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. How long was the endurance?
It was a 30-minute practice with the qualifier included in it, and then a 2-hour endurance race split between 4 in each team.
Wow. So you've done endurance already. I remember I was telling you earlier.
That was literally the first one, yeah.
That was it. That's good. Awesome. How many people were on your team?
There was 4. So it was me, Dad, and two other friends.
Awesome.
Yeah. One of them never been to the track.
Okay.
Dad hadn't been for about 10 years. I was the one who'd been, at the end of last year every week. So
Yeah. You
Yeah, I
were
was
carrying the team.
following it along a little bit. Yeah, there was another guy called Tom who was by the end of the session as quick as me. It's amazing how quick, if you're reasonable, you can get into it and just track time a lot of it, isn't it?
That's it. How did you get on in the endurance race?
We won it. Yeah.
Oh, awesome! There you go.
Yeah, it was a surprise to me as well because it was such a lottery. Like the guy just before
Jacob.
before this one, yeah, Jacob describing the pit stops.
Yeah.
You know, one pit stop where you get held up, that's like a minute and you're back. So we had another guy just sort of keeping an eye on the pit area.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that helped a lot. Just, you know, I think once there was a guy, they were in third place and they came into the pits and there was already 5 carts in there, so immediately they dropped back.
There you go. That's it. It's all about that strategy.
Yeah.
And even if you're not the quickest, you can gain a lot of time with being rapid in the pits and, you know, coming in when there's the space in the pit. What about refueling? I guess you had to refuel once, or
no,
did it last?
I don't think there's any refueling. No.
That's impressive. If it can last 2 hours, that's pretty good. Well, to be fair, no, this is 4-stroke. So I know, for example, Daytona, they have the 2-stroke D-Max carts. So it's a 2-stroke engine with a rental car chassis. The fuel goes in about 1.5 hours. So you're having to refuel every now and then, and they do 12-hour, 24-hour races. So there's loads of pit stops when you're in D-Max.
Yeah.
Just going back to your footage now, it's quite impressive. I can definitely tell you've got experience of driving from before. In terms of the line, you're aware of certain ways to take corners. Now this track is devised of lots of hairpins, I would say. You know, that's generally how it's broken up. Are you struggling with any corners in particular?
Yeah, so we're following along. Well, if you carry on with this one, this bend's pretty good because it's flat out long right. Then there's I find this one pretty good because it's quite fast. There's not a lot you can do in it. This one's technical, so I've been going in a lot wider into that one.
Yeah.
This is the hardest one right now. So this one, where this guy's just spun out, you have to take a really wide, sort of late apex on it.
Yes.
I noticed the guys that are doing a second quicker, they're going quite slow into that. And then this one here, the way you pinch that hairpin, this one here, this is the most challenging one for me, that bend there.
Gotcha.
Because it's like, you're coming up and over the bridge, and then you're braking hard on this black. I think that this black strip has a bit more grip on it.
Yeah,
and you're basically having to kind of hope for the best with an apex. Yeah, that's the most challenging. Yeah.
Just looking at it, these are very tight turns, and I think the best way to approach it is how fast can we be on the exit of the corner. Sometimes you just got to sacrifice that time on entry, as you mentioned, just slowing it down beforehand, having more control, and ultimately trying to keep the revs as high as possible. What you want to do is be mindful of that. You know, listen out each lap to your revs. Are they dipping anywhere? Coming up to this hairpin turn, for example. I think you're doing some kind of commentary over your lap,
I'm
right?
kind of talking, yeah.
That's awesome.
Getting a bit excited.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Same thing goes for this corner where, it's a tight turn, but it's just about how fast can we be on the exit of the corner. Let's just switch over to the entire screen and go over a few pointers. Is there a specific minute for the fastest lap here? What is the timing?
I'm not sure. They're all quite similar. Like,
is it 22 seconds or 20?
28. Yeah, low 28, 28.1 or 28.2. I think I was doing that day.
Gotcha. Yep. So turn one, using up all the track on entry. Better to enter it wide because you're going flat over here. the inside curb, if it were, I know it's just painted. That's a great reference of how close you want to go. Have you tried going right up to the inside black barriers?
No, not on that bend.
Okay. The logic behind it is just trying to use up all the track available, right?
Yeah.
It's a small thing, but especially at the latter part of the turn, because you're going for more late apex in this corner, just try and get slightly close to the right hand side, and that way you can reduce the meters and then open up back for the next corner. Where is your sort of break points? Is it on feeling over here? Because I don't see anything.
I was listening to the previous guy. Yeah, I haven't got a marker for this bend here, no.
Okay.
So just feeling it kind of happens pretty quick. This bend comes up fast after.
Yeah, that's it. Almost immediately. It's best to be as wide as possible, I'd say, over here, because we're dealing with a double hairpin configuration again. And best to go for an early break, and I'd say a slightly later turn in, similar to what you were doing there. What you do want to do is set up the second corner to almost be flat. This is a lot tighter though, so I don't know. Is this flat or is this taken with a lift? The second.
It's crazy that you're picking up this from never being, but this bend is weird because it's a little bit of a lift because as you can see, the exit tightens.
Yeah.
But you try and be flat on that one, and then just lift a little bit because it kind of washes out a bit into there where it pinches.
That's it. And this is the runoff, but very, very close. I'd just say for this corner, try to go deep into it. Almost use the crack in the track as a reference, where you don't want to cut across too early because that means you're turning early. Delay it, continue in a straight line. The deeper you can go into the corner, the later we can turn. Sharp late turn, get good rotation of the kart, and maybe try and be in the middle of the track. What you could experiment as well is one sort of motion on exit. So what's happening here? We're turning in, bit of understeer as well. You're putting a lot of steering rotation, but the kart's not turning in. We're going to the left now, and then we're coming back to the middle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to the left, then you're opening up the corner back again to the right, because we have a left-hand corner. So just going back to the first corner, you're able to turn slightly later, can then be positioned more in the middle of the track immediately, and then go in a straight line. That's something to test out. Might work, might not. As we discussed, ideally we want to try and take this turn flat. The best way to do that is having a wide entry again. So set yourself up to be nice and wide. And are you using your body weight when you're cornering? Are you leaning?
Not consciously on this corner. Only on the one after the bridge, because he kind of really makes a difference. But
lean in or lean out?
Leaning out, yeah.
Lean out, that's it. I would say generally whenever I do double hairpin corners, and it's indoor outdoor, the second one, which is the one we're dealing with here, because you're trying to take it flat, leaning out really helps by loading the outside tires with more grip. And if you're almost able to help you with rotation as well. It's just something I've picked up, and maybe you can try on this second hairpin where lean your body out, try and get the load off the inside tires, load the outside tires, and see if that helps the rotation. I think your apex is fine over here, and even using the track on exit, coming right up to the black barrier. What about this next hairpin? Is there any reference for braking?
Well, the marshals say this sort of lantern is the start of the braking point, and they recommend almost coming down to a jogging pace at this point, because like you mentioned, it's a double hairpin. The exit of the second hairpin's more important, especially because you've got a bridge to climb up. If you're heavy, especially.
That's it.
Yeah,
I think that's spot on. This is a great reference because it's going to be in the same place each lap. Carry the brakes slightly into the corner. Try and get some more rotation. Late apex is really nice. Very, very good effort over here. What's happened is you've ended up on the left-hand side of the track. Now the second turn is a lot easier for you to take. And I assume this is flat as well?
Yeah.
Awesome. Using up the track on exit. That's a very good effort. You know, what I see there is, you know, you're almost spot on. Then it's about experimenting. How much speed can I carry in the first hairpin? Because what it is, it's easy to slow the cart down and take the right line. But sometimes, you know, you're under driving. So you're being too cautious to take the right line. And if you're chasing those hundredths of a second or whatever, sometimes, you know, braking a bit later, getting the rear to step out a bit more, you know, not sliding the car as per se, but, you know, just get the rear to step out a bit, meaning be hard on the brakes. I mean, a bit more aggressive can be a trick here. So that's something you could experiment. So how late can I brake after this light post? At the moment, are you braking as the front wheels go past it or the rear tires go past it?
Yeah, probably after it, so rear wheels.
The rear wheels. Okay, so you're braking quite late anyway, I'd say.
Trail braking.
You're trail braking. Cool.
Yeah, going on what you described before. Like,
with rental cars, especially the four strokes, because we're trying to keep the revs high. I like to use a threshold brake where we're getting that peak pressure very quickly, and then we're bleeding off very, very quickly as well. As opposed to a trail brake where you get that peak pressure and then you're trailing off the brakes as you get to the corner. With threshold brakes, that peak pressure and getting off is actually helping us with rotation, because the brakes are located at the rear. Harder you press the brakes, the more the rear is going to step out. And what happens is when you can get the rear to step out, you don't have to turn your steering wheel as much to turn the corner. You'll actually be counter steering sometimes. So you see here, you're holding the left-hand steering angle. Sometimes if you're hard on the brakes, you might be steering ever so slightly to the right, or a neutral steer where you just keep the wheel in the middle and you're using the brakes to turn. That's something that you can even experiment, I would say, for this corner. Because what happens with threshold brake is not only it slows the car down and rotates, you're able to get onto the power a lot earlier as well. So you're building up that speed and momentum through this corner.
So you're not as long on the brakes then with threshold. It's sort of more of a...
Yeah, that's it.
You have to be very precise.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's about feeling, because it's about building up to that pressure quickly. So being hard on the brakes. And as you feel that rear step out, that's when you have to come off completely. And then control that slide per se with your steering. That's why you counter steer. It's important to be mindful. Don't counter steer too much to the opposite direction, because that's going over the limit. Just by the looks of this, though, the second hairpin especially, it looks like, number one, it's a very short straight to the next corner, and it looks like you don't have much time to build up, that much momentum. So I like how you're opening up, cutting to the right. One thing which is pure experimentational, how about taking it from the middle next time? So you're directly in the middle of the track. The logic behind that is because we're so slow anyway, we're building up the revs. Being in the middle could save you some meters, and at the same time, taking the right-hand turn is just as easy. I would also say apply the lean out method as well when you turn to the right here for added rotation, and see how that works. It could be faster, it could be slower, but worth trying out since there's not much to change on this layout in terms of the line. Going up the bridge, if this was a electric car, the latest thing is that all the team sport tracks we were talking about, who do the British indoor karting championship, they've gone to electric. Right. So the added perk of electric is they have a boost button. So the boost increases your speed momentarily, and a lot of team sport tracks have ramps. So you tend to press the boost button just before you go up the ramp, and then it gives you a bit more speed. Here you can't do much. Petrol karts, just about placement of the cart. So keeping it to the right hand side of the track, and as you go down the ramp and into a hairpin like this, it's very awkward. I know what you mean by there's not much grip. Sometimes you can overshoot it. Sometimes you slide the cart. What I've found is it's about hitting the sweet spot. So naturally there will be that dip, and the track will flatten out after you go down the bridge. So the more and more laps you do, the more comfortable you'll get in terms of feeling of when the two surfaces sort of flat. By the looks of this, it's a very short period that you have before the actual corner. So sometimes braking that bit early, just before the cart goes down the bridge, might be the method. Just about here, let's say. Where are you braking at the moment?
I've tried both. At the moment, I'm trying to brake later.
Later,
so
yeah, probably down and then brake.
That shiny patch is there.
Yeah, is it just after that or just on
before
that?
You just basically as it's where it starts.
Okay.
The marshals say that that's the place they will sell. That's the place to brake because there's more braking performance there.
I see what you mean.
But when you say about braking earlier, I've tried that as well, and you can get a more that allows for a smoother entry into that corner because, like you just said, it's really short to set the cart up between braking and entry.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's all experimentational. And also what your style is. Like personally, I don't like to brake late in these corners because I have a habit where I'll just overshoot.
That's the thing. Consistency.
Miss the apex. Yeah. I'm more consistent when I brake early and I have control, and I can hit the apex. So I would say do what's best, do what's easier for you to not slide the cart excessively. Make sure you're getting close to this inside apex, and you're able to do that across the course of the whole session. Where every lap you're on the limit there. A bit of traffic over here on this part. Let's just go to an earlier lap. Let's say over here, you had a clean run. Boom, hit the brakes, good rotation, and then you come out slightly, which is awesome. So one more time, hit the brakes. Getting close to the barrier over here. Coming out about right. That looks just about right. I think for the final part of the track, it's all about the placement of the cart, making the distance as short as possible now to the finish line, and this is a nice effort. So what you've done, you've gone towards the right-hand side of the track, and then you're thinking, how can I get there as quickly as possible? Go across the track. Awesome. For a solid finish. So when you started at this track, what were your lap times?
Late sort of high 28s.
High 28s, yeah.
Yeah, I managed to knock about just under a second off now.
Amazing. So you're doing 27.9, let's say?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So
that's excellent.
A few days ago, it was like 27.8, 9 or 27.9. Yeah, I can do in a 10-minute session, probably 3 or 4 of those.
Super.
So like you said, I think there's a bit more of experimentation on those few hairpins to do.
Yeah. I think overall your driving is very good. There's a good understanding there, and there is consistency as well. I mean, you're overtaking other people in that session as well. That adds to the fun. Have you been noting down the different carts you take each time? And is it a different cart you try every time?
That is a good point, actually. They are different, very different. I haven't been. No. They're all numbered, so I mean, if you go on a practice session, you get to choose pretty much which cart you want.
You can, okay.
Yeah.
What's the best number there at the moment?
I don't know yet, but I'll be looking out for it now. Yeah.
I think the marshals will definitely know.
They'll definitely know. Yeah,
they'll definitely
be
ask.
I mean, you get in them some that they really rattle, and there's a lot of play in the steering wheel and things, and others that
yeah,
sort of neutral. So
I think because you're going so regularly, you can start taking some notes, of each cart you take. This cart, let's say it's cart 17. Cart 17, it's got good straight line speed, but it's got a lot of understeer in turn 1. It handles good through the left-hand turns like turn 2. So, just things like that. And over time, you'll have a log of all the different carts. And if you're taking a cart again, you can refer back to the feedback you put there. I would also take a different cart every time you go, just for variance. Different carts, you can try different lines. I always say with the faster carts, try and take the widest line possible because you got that speed. With the slower carts, you don't have to go so wide. There's less speed available there. You can take a slightly narrower line. In terms of what we just analyzed today, though, I think give it a go in terms of the double hairpins. So that's basically your turn 2 and 3, and then 4 and 5. In terms of just going a bit deeper into the corners, sharp, late turning, keep the momentum high. Don't lose the revs, and maybe practice a bit of threshold braking. Going hard on the brakes, getting that rear end to kick out. The moment you're doing threshold braking well is where the revs are high and you're sort of counter steering in the corners. Opposed to carrying the brakes into the corner, having that steering angle and then getting onto the gas. Trail braking, it's the technique we use in owner carts because you got so much more speed. You actually gain time under braking through that. But in rental carts, the revs are so low, so you can get away with being hard on the brakes, get the rear to kick out a bit. And definitely practice that over time in your next few sessions. When are you going next to the track?
Probably end of this coming week, so
Awesome.
Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, let me know how it goes. Get some footage as well of that recorded, and would be happy to go through with that with you next time as well.
Brilliant. That's good. Thanks for your help on that.
It's been a pleasure, James. And if you let's keep in touch, as I said, through the Academy portal. You can feel free to comment on there, share some footage.
Will do,
like that.
Thank you.
Take care. Good night.
Yep.
All right, we are going to go to Ethan next, and I think we're going to call it a night after that.
After Ethan, can I ask some questions if that's fine?
You know what? Go for them now, as we just break it up in between.
Okay, so you know how I had the race with my footage?
Yes.
Do you think I should upload that so you can review, or just leave it?
Yeah, absolutely. So did we review that last session?
We did. It was the fastest lap, but not the whole race.
Yeah, that's it. What I recommend, get that uploaded. We'll review that in the next session in terms of the whole race.
Obviously.
But I would love to go through that because I think I told you about that as well last time. Go for it. If you can do it as a YouTube link, it runs smoother on the share screen. So go for it, yeah.
Also, how was the 24 hours? It's a bit late now.
24 hours. 24 hours was one of the best races, I have to say, in terms of atmosphere and experience. The result, not so much. You'll see some of the videos being posted, hopefully by next weekend of the race. But we qualified 12th out of 47, and then we had a very strong first stint. So within 12 hours, so the first half of the race, we went from P12 to P3, the podium. It was just consistent. Good lap times. More than that, Daytona mix the Sodi and the D-Max together on one track. That's why you have 47 teams, 22 D-Max, 25 Sodis. So every lap, the D-Max has to pass at least one Sodi. And, normally it's 3 to 5 carts in a lap. And the lap is, more than a minute long. So it's there's lots of overtaking to do. You don't necessarily have to be the fastest driver, but if you can negotiate traffic cleanly and efficiently, you can gain time. There were a lot of cases that the top drivers with the top timings, they were just getting stuck behind, Sodi carts. and you lose 1, 2, 3 seconds like that, it adds up. So that's how we were able to make huge inroads within the first 12 hours and make up a lot of time. Problem is, by 12 hours, the rain came, and so did our kart problems. So there's absolute downpour, typical storm overnight. Although we did have our wet drivers on, they're the quick guys. They offered to do the night stint because we could tell in the forecast that it's going to rain. We told them, you guys take over. But we had big problems. The sprocket of our kart started to bend more and more in their stint, to a point where it was grinding on the axle. So, we came in and we showed the mechanics. They said, well, we'll try and do something about it. We said, you either need to replace the kart or replace the sprocket itself. So we're losing time in the pits, and they ended up, getting some kind of a hammer and trying to bash it back into place. It's not what you're meant to do. And then they sent them back out. A few laps later, same problem happened. It's bent back. So eventually, we make it to the maintenance stop. They do fix the kart in the end. And on top of that, because it was raining and things, it's more likely that, you'll spin out and get involved in incidents. So a couple of the drivers who did the wet stint for us at night, they got involved in some incidents. One point, they got stuck on the grass for 2 minutes. So, all this time, from 12 hours to about 16 hours in the race, we went from P3 back to outside the top 10. So, all that progress we made just got reversed. A combination of, kart problems, but also, driver mistakes, and these things happen across 24 hours. But by the morning, that's when I was back at the track, because they said, look, you've done the afternoon stints and evening, so come back for the morning. I did the stint where the track was just drying, it was damp, but it was very, very fun because the grip is slowly getting better and better, and we finished strongly in terms of the pace, but damage was done at midnight, so it was from like P15 we were only able to recover to P11. So we finished the race 11th, and position wise, absolutely not the best, but experience wise, a lot learned, and really enjoyed the overall atmosphere of the event. I think if you ever get to do a 12-hour or 24-hour, I would highly recommend it. It's just one of the best karting races you can ever do. You're with your teammates, you're supporting each other, you get tired, there's weather changes. Oh, it's unbelievable.
Oh, it sounds great.
Yeah. You'll see some of the footage as well coming soon to hopefully give you a behind the scenes perspective of it.
So this might be a weird, stupid question, but where and how did you sleep there?
No, great question. So you can either sleep in the car. Luckily, I had a room nearby, an Airbnb, which is 5 minutes away. And you plan this all in advance, when you're going to drive and when you're going to sleep. So my window for sleeping was 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. So it's perfect for me because 5 hours, you don't need to be at the track as per se, because there's also backup drivers there if the guy on track comes in early. And then the rest of the time, you're just up on adrenaline. You need to sleep. You cannot do 24 hours without sleeping. But the rest of the time, you're supporting your teammates. You're pushing them along, basically. A lot of it is due to strategy. So you're communicating on the pit wall with them. Every time they come past, you're putting up some kind of signal. You're doing a good job. You need to push more. They'll communicate something back. So, it's all part of the race.
Oh, okay. Also, is D-Max and Club 100 the same type of cars?
Very similar, very similar. I would say Club 100 is better maintained in terms of the karts and engine, because it's a proper championship. They want to try and keep things as equal as possible. I believe they don't restrict the engines on Club 100 as well. You see, with Daytona, they have to because of longevity, and if you do a 24-hour race, it's not going to be running the race spec, because a Rotax engine can only do 25 minutes if it's unrestricted. But Club 100, I believe, are a bit faster as well, and the chassis are a bit lighter. So that's purely for sprint racing. That's how Club 100, I believe, run their format. I'm not sure if they have an endurance category. I'm not sure. I don't think they do.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all the questions. Thanks.
No, it's been a pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure, and hope to review your race with you next week.
Yeah, I'll start uploading that tomorrow or today.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's just quickly go to Ethan. Ethan, are you still there?
Yeah, I am still there.
Ethan, welcome. Ethan, how are you for time?
I'm good. So
Yeah?
it's no problem. It's more about you. Whatever time you want to take, I'm all good.
No. Have you managed to upload your footage?
Yeah, I'm all good with that.
That's awesome, because I remember we discussed you had something to review. If you could just share a link with it.
Yeah.
Either on
where can I share it to?
Can you just put it directly on the
yeah,
Academy?
of course.
Or
Yeah.
just put it on the Google chat over here in the meet. That's fine
Alright.
as well.
All right. Okay, so that should be it. Yeah.
Let's just take a look. This is all some typical outdoor karting. Wow.
Yeah.
What's the name of this track?
So the track is Majesk. So I don't know how to pronounce it in English, but
Majesk, wow.
it's a bit far away from my home, but I've been there only once.
Yep.
And I wanted to review because I was already studying the track before going at it, but
Yep.
I am prepared. I'm going to go back to it in a few days because I'm planning on doing my first SWS race there.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm starting in that, and I wanted to have some help because in this session you're going to see there was like traffic paradise in terms of everything, but also the fact that I am in some corners jumping a lot, and apart from one corner where there is a bump, the others I don't have any idea why. I'm trying to reduce that, and maybe I break too much, or I don't really know where I can grab time. Because I know I'm like 1 second or more than a second away from the good times on this bike. So I'm trying to.
Well, it's interesting that you've been one time only. This is the only time you've been to the track, right?
Yeah.
So it's a brand new track for you. And in terms of the lap time, what did you get? What was your timing?
It was about 1 minute 12 seconds and 0.7, and mostly the times there, the very very good times are in 1.11.
1.11. Okay.
So yeah,
so it's not bad. Especially for your first time, to be within a second or so of the top timings. It's a great start. Just by looking at this track, it's quite a nice flow to it. And it looks like they host the professional karts on this as well.
Yeah. They do both, yeah. But this, the car I'm in is like a Saudi RT10.
Yeah. Oh, those are the fastest arrive and drive karts, fastest rental karts, RT10. They've got a lot more speed than others, and yeah, just by the looks of this track, I'd say you're quite lucky that it's suited for professional karting. It's quite wide.
Yeah.
And it's a bit easier to drive a rental kart on this because it's not as tight as normal, and it's all about placement of the kart and things like that. As we just about finish a lap, I think this is the start finish.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is share my entire screen and have a look at the track layout with you.
Yeah.
So
I think I can send it to you. I have a screenshot of it, or there's like images on internet.
If there's a Google, I mean, this is the town, isn't it? This is not.
Yeah, this is the town, but the track is like left of it, I think.
Yeah, over here, right?
Yeah.
So this is a very small town, and it's got a karting track. That is awesome.
Yeah, it's very far away from my home, but it's really worth it because the price is good.
Yeah.
I'm
This
mostly
is
in the big city of Bordeaux, 1 hour 30 away from it.
over here, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So this is very close to the sea as well. We
Yeah.
just had Joel from Portugal. He's at a very similar located track right next to
Oh,
the sea.
all right.
So these are some nice locations. This is it then, yeah. This is
Yes,
the
this is it. Yeah.
wow. This is awesome. And actually, we've you get a better understanding of the layout. What corners are you specifically struggling with?
Well, mostly, you see, there's a sort of chicane on the top that leads to a wide corner, like on the top of the screen.
Here.
Yeah, like it's really hard to explain in English, but mostly it's very hard on this part where you are right now because you're trying to go as fast as you can to have a good exit, but when I'm going, I'm like jumping a lot. You can see on the things when I'm going on it. I mastered the first part, and then just before the big turn, I am jumping a lot, and it happens a lot in like the first, second, and third corners after the start and finish line.
Yeah.
Happens a lot actually on this track. And I don't know if it's because I break a lot and stuff. I've been looking at some footage of other people, and they don't, jump as much as me. So I don't know if it's weight related because I'm not very fat, so that can be
Yeah.
anything.
Well, absolutely, because what you'll find is, how many kilos are you?
About 60 kilos, which is really
Yeah. That's lightweight. So what you'll find is, especially RT10, it's a very heavy car. The lighter you are, and the more speed you try and carry through a corner, the more it's going to shake. It's because the rear tire, well, not even the rear tires, the tires don't have that added grip, and you're trying to, put more speed that they can do, and grip to the track. Well, we're going to devise a strategy on how to overcome that. You were saying what turns 1, 2, and 3? You're also
these
struggling
ones,
with. Yeah, turns. These are just typical hairpin turns. Then this is the chicane part you're talking about, right? At the top.
Yeah.
Yep. And what about sort of the final couple of corners?
This one I overcame it a bit at the end of these sessions, but it's still a bit of a struggle for me. But I have a good exit for the long straight line before the start and finish line, so
Awesome.
I'm pretty good on this part. It's mostly the first and second sector where I think I'm losing a lot of time on that. And I've only had one great time. The rest were really hard to do. So
yeah. Well, let's start the lap with the first couple of corners. It's important to identify how big they are and what the distance is to the next corner. So that decides your line ultimately. What I feel, there's plenty of space between turn 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So if we look at an overall line you should take, it should look something similar to this. It's a typical hairpin corner. We try and go deep into the turn, go for a late apex. And in this case, you can use all of the track on exit because you got that space. And naturally, as you get closer to the next hairpin turn, head back out wide. Turn 1, late apex. Turn 2, it's another typical hairpin turn. You got a short straight. I'd go for another late apex. So enter the corner as wide as possible. Go deep into the turn. Skip the early apex. Skip the middle apex. Late apex. Use all of the track on exit. What you want to do from this point to the next is make them a straight line as possible. And I'd almost look ahead to the next corner as a long hairpin turn. So what you want to do is don't get tight too quickly, but sort of as the corner gets sharper and sharper, then hug the right-hand side. And what you can do on the exit is come back out wide. So in terms of the actual footage, let's see how it looks from you. So we go through the first corner now, coming up. speed. So at the moment, how are you currently braking? Is there a specific reference on feeling?
Here I'm trying to go on the reference that is a bit later. It's a sort of patch on the left side.
Wow.
Just here.
This one, right? Yeah.
A bit like in the middle. I'm trying to brake there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel sometimes I brake for too long. I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm a bit keeping the brake in the turn, and I never got to actually feel what was the great braking point actually.
Yeah.
It is good, but my inputs on the brakes are wrong, and I'm struggling to see where I can actually do better on that. Also,
honestly, I feel what you're saying, because it's a blind corner for a reference point. It's just grass on the left. Luckily, we have this patch which gives us a warning. It's going to be time to brake soon. So let's use that to our advantage. Basically, just looking at it, it's a long hairpin turn, right? So you've got time to actually go deep into the corner for your braking.
Okay.
What you don't want to do is, as you mentioned, let's just watch where you brake over here. You've just hit the brakes now. So we're about halfway down the strip, as you said. You've hit the brakes now. You're still on the brakes. You're still on the brakes. Still on the brakes. And now you're back on the gas. So you see, by the time we're at the apex, then you're on the gas. We want to keep our braking short and a hard period, right?
All right.
So next time you can try the threshold brake technique, which is, like we discussed with other drivers today, a high amount of pressure immediately, followed by a quick bleed off the brakes. What we're trying to do is achieve a bit of counter steer in the corner. So you see it's a right-hand corner and you're turning to the right, yeah? What you want to do is get the rear end of the cart to step out on you, because the brakes are located at the rear there. So press the brakes nice and hard for a short period and wait for the rear to step out. Once the rear end steps out, that steering wheel of yours, it will be turning towards the left, the opposite way. You'll counter steer ever so slightly. That shows that you're on the limit of braking, and also you're using the brakes to turn. See, the harder you press the brakes, the more that rear end will turn, and the less you have to turn your steering wheel to the right. You're actually controlling it by counter steering. And I would recommend try and brake as not as late as possible, but late in the corner.
Yeah.
You don't want to go too early, and then somebody who brakes a bit later catches you on entry and then also on exit. But that's something you need to be mindful of. Because it's a hairpin turn, try to prioritize the best possible exit. So sometimes braking too late will lose your momentum that you built up along the straight, and then coming out the corner you're going to be slow. So where you're currently braking, think of next time I'm going to brake half a second after that, which will basically be slightly closer to the curb. Half a second is basically a meter or so. And what you want to do over here, initiate hard brakes. As we mentioned, try to skip the early part of the corner and really get close to the corner, similar to where you are now, achieving a late apex. So, we're going late into the corner. Have you tried using a bit of the curb on the inside? Putting a tire in there?
I tried on other sessions than this one.
Yeah.
But it's a bit elevated, so for now I'm a bit I'm a bit scared of it. But I will try it the next time.
Yeah.
But I saw some drivers doing it, so maybe I should try it.
Really, this end part of the corner, that's where you want to be on the curb. Probably see there's dark patches, right?
Okay.
That's because people have driven over it. And what you don't want to do is is exit the corner you don't want to end the corner away from the curb. You want to follow that white line and that curb so you can get to that part quicker. What's happened here is we've kept a gap, and then we're slowly going to get to the outside. Whereas here you just cut across shorter path, right? Shorter distance. So keep it right as much as possible. And on exit, feel free to use this curb just like you're doing. 2 wheels over it, half the car over it, and minimize the meters. That's a very nice effort.
Okay.
As we discussed on the track map, your next corner is a typical hairpin corner. So you want to head over to the right-hand side of the track. Again, going for a late apex, I would say. Oops, that's not a late apex. This is pretty much a late apex. Something like that. Let's watch on the footage, see how the track width is. Coming up nice and wide. It's very good on entry. Going into clip and apex and back out wide. That's awesome. I'm just going to watch where you brake now again. Is it on feeling again for this corner?
Yeah, a bit of on feeling, and I'm trying to have the breaking point from the sort of a lighten pole on the right. It's not visible here, but yeah, the one at the right now.
This one, right?
I'm trying to have this as reference a bit.
Yeah. The closer you get to it, then you press the brakes. You press the brakes a bit later over here, which is good. Boom, you've just hit the brakes over here. So a meter or so from that. No, a few more than that from the light post. I like this. This is good control. It's a long left hand over here. What you do want to make sure you're doing is keeping the revs as high as possible. So on the brakes, I would again experiment with threshold braking. So it's a short but hard braking period. Get off the brakes, get onto the gas as soon as possible. So hard brakes, rotate the cart, maybe even a bit of counter steer over here, get back onto the accelerator. I like how you're using a bit more of the curb over here. This is really good. And it's a late apex you've achieved, which is excellent. Keep that up. It's nice. And more importantly, on exit, 2 wheels over the curb. Brilliant. Now, the next corner, we want to create that straight line, right? We mentioned. If we go back to the track diagram, you'll see that these 2 corners, should be taken at the shortest path possible, right? Similar to that, as opposed to going on the right and then going to the left, yeah?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Just diagonal. Let's see. I haven't seen this one. I'd say you're doing something similar.
Oh,
you're on this occasion, from the right, you're now cutting across to the left. Yeah, you see, you're not on the right side over here. Yeah. You're pretty much in the middle, and this is fine. Widen up the corner now. So it's important that is that going to zoom in? That is going to zoom in. Yeah. If you look on the right hand side, we got a long corner coming up now. Yep. So it's important we don't go tight too early. The moment you go too close, you're going to go wide on exit. That's why we do the opposite. We go wide on entry to be tight in the apex. Yep. So don't go tight on entry and then wide on apex. That's not what you want to do. Let's just watch what you do on this lap. You're wide, which is acceptable. Let's just see how this goes. You're braking, applying a bit of the gas. You're coming back out wide. I think for this corner as well, you can carry more speed. You know, it's a longer corner. And it's shaking a bit there. I see that as well.
Yeah. On this one, there's at the start of it, I'm trying to avoid a sort of bump. There is, and when you take it, it's even worse. I'm sort of, as I see with you right now, I'm sort of having a pretty middle or like early apex, which is not very good because afterwards I a bit carry a little break afterwards because I'm going too fast, and I'm too fast in the way that I'm going too much in the exit too wide.
Yeah. One thing you can try over here to take, even with a lift, I reckon you might not have to brake for this corner, right? You can take it with a lift. Number one, we need to be as wide up to the white line, right?
Okay.
White line is to maximize the entry of the corner, make it as wide as possible. And what we want to do is rather than looking over here, look over here, ahead. So think of you almost crashing into that barrier in front. And it's actually at the last moment, as the line sort of turns, the dotted line goes away, that's when you want to start to turn. So what we're doing is taking a very late turn in, right? And again, we're going to be nice and wide. We're going to be almost on this side of the track. So you can see the track width. We got a lot of space. The wider you can take the corner, the less you have to brake. Sometimes you might just lift. You don't have to brake necessarily. What are you doing with your body? Are you leaning in any of these corners?
In this one, I don't. I think in this one I don't really think that much of leaning. I lean more in the sector 2 and 3, but on this one I don't really think about it. But maybe it would help, I guess.
Definitely, especially when it's high-speed corners and you're trying to take them with more speed, and to get rid of that shaking as well. What we need to do is lean out. So lean to the left-hand side over here as much as possible, putting the load on these outside tires. The more you can load the outside tires, the less you're going to have to turn your steering wheel as well, because there's more grip and it helps with rotation. So again, wide entry, try to lean your body to the outside and sort of throw the kart in the corner. Be a bit more aggressive here. It's a long corner. I feel you can afford to cut in. And basically, you'll be hitting the apex nice and late. So you see how the curb continues? That's where we want to be. As opposed to coming away from the curb over here and leaving that distance, yeah? We want to get closer here. Late apex, cut across the track and sort of stay in the middle to straighten up for the next part. So we've got, basically the fast left coming up. I believe this is flat out.
Yeah, everything is flat out from this point until this
That's nice
big
and easy.
braking zone.
And you gained on the guy in front, which was nice. This isn't a great example.
Yeah, I had in the description, I think one of the best laps.
Yeah. 909. Yeah, super.
Normally that should be also a good lap. So on this side, I'm just going to someone and then
similar location as well from where we got it from. There's somebody on your back, but now you cleared them. And so is this the fastest lap? Because this is midway through.
I'm not. I don't know if it's the fastest lap. I'm actually not sure if it is, but it's one of the cleanest I have in terms of visuals, because there was a lot of traffic in this session. But
a lot of traffic, yeah. Let's just skip ahead to the middle part. I think this is a clean run. Yep. This is nice. Bit of shaking through there, but that's understandable. Fast left. Right, this is the chicane part you were saying.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a left into a right, another right, and then back end.
Yeah, here I don't shake, but I think there's some other points in the video where I shake a lot. I have this exit where I just do it up, but
yeah. So they already have a warning. You have to get ready to brake.
Yeah, but that's because there's also a very public thing, so they don't want people to crash. But the braking point is far
exactly
later.
Just looking at a diagram on the right, and when we deal with a corner like this, what's the fastest way to do it? Well, wide entry number one from the outside. I would go for a late apex over here. The reason you go for a late apex is so you can be on the left-hand side of the track for the following corner. And now that corner, because you're on the left-hand side of the track, is so much easier to cut across the track. And you can do something like this. See, in karting, you should always drive a corner, let's say this corner, thinking about this corner already. See, what happens is, if you go early or middle apex in this corner, you're going to end up in the middle or right-hand side of the track. And now the corner becomes very tight for us, yeah? You see that? We need to allow ourselves some time and space. So we brake. We have to brake for this corner. But because we go deep into the corner in a straight line, sharp, late turn in, late apex, Now we're carrying enough speed and we're on the correct part of the track on the left-hand side to now take the second corner flat out. What you don't want to do is brake over here as you normally do. Go in too early. Oops, go in too early. End up on the right-hand side of the track. And now, oh no, the right-hand turn is too tight for me. I have to brake again. And then I can get onto the gas, yeah?
Mm.
So in reality, the entry for this corner, I would say, needs to be as wide as possible. You see on this lap, you're slightly away from the white line.
Yeah.
There's a bit of space. I know the angle of the camera isn't the best, but you know.
Yeah, I mostly wasn't as much wide as I should do. I think because I know on this corner I was mostly in the middle. I don't know why, but I was doing that mechanically. So.
No, it's all good. It's first time you're trying out, lots of different things. You're trying to get used to the track. But for next time, just be mindful. I need to be as wide as possible, up to the white line.
Okay.
Then what did we discuss? We said, go deep into the corner. So what you'll notice, as the corner starts, there's this bollard, there's the curb. Honestly, I would ignore that. That's not your business. Go deep into the corner. Forget the early part. The first bollard, even the second bollard. And at the last moment, then you'd cut in and try to put two wheels over this.
Okay.
And use the end of the curb as your runoff.
So really a late apex.
Really late apex. Only this yellow part that I've covered, that's where you should be. Before this, you shouldn't be on the curb. You see how you're on the curb over here? Don't be on the curb this early. Make sure you delay that to go all the way to the outside. And then when you're on this side of the track, what happens for the entry of the next corner? You're wider, right? You're on the left-hand side of the track. And the angle is so much easier for the next turn. So what's happened here is corners become tight for us, and it's become tight there. Just widen it up ever so slightly, ever so slightly. Coming up to the end of the lap now, it looks like this is the long right into the long straight. Yep, and then we got those two corners. Okay, so we're at the back end of the lap now. Let's see how you position the kart. You're nice and tight. That's good. Reduce the meters. Onto the long straight now. Boom. Getting ready to brake. To the fast right. Into the left. And then you got the final corner coming. Awesome. So where's the braking? Is it on feeling again over here?
A mix of feeling and also a little patch of cracked asphalt. I think it's later. Yeah, here there's
there
sort
you
of
go. Excellent.
It's a bit here. Yeah, it's a hard braking that I do.
Yeah. And it's just on. I'd say that's on the limit there. Looking at the grip, so boom, you brake, and the corner comes at you quite quickly. I didn't realize, like it's quite a sharp corner.
Yeah.
That was probably about right where you braked. Because I thought, did he go too early? But then look how quickly the corner comes. And it's a sharp corner. See, to the right. I like how you're staying slightly to the right now to open up the left. That's generally what you want to do. So typical chicane corner. Early on the brakes. Then carry the speed into the first right. Stay to the right. Why should we stay to the right over here?
To widen the exit or to have a better exit on the straight line before the other big straight line, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's about opening up the angle of the corner, for the next corner. So the moment we go middle apex and on the left-hand side, now it's too tight, for us. So the wider we can be, more on the right side, just like you're doing over here on the video footage, we widen up the corner entry so you can cut to the left-hand side and take that smoothly. This is needed. You need to keep that gap, allow yourself that space to do it. So naturally, on your first go, you're doing that well. flick it to the left. Late apex, love that. You're going nice and late in the corner. This is awesome. And then on exit, using up all the track. Beautiful. Final corner. It's always the most important corner.
Yeah, here I think I fail it because I see some drivers that don't brake on this one. They just take their feet out of the gas, and they just slow themselves just by the sort of aggressive and short turning.
Yeah,
and so they, as you said, they loosen a bit the rear tires, and I didn't really experience that before, so I'm going to try that maybe next week, but I don't know if it's the right thing to do.
I 100% agree with that. And just by the noise of the revs over here, I know you can't hear it, but on my side I can hear it. There's what you're doing over here by braking is you're underdriving the cart. Yeah, there's more speed that the cart can carry. So that means get rid of the braking completely. Maybe lift. Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, you will have to add a lift in, but it's a very quick lift of the gas, and then lay the power back down. Also, in a corner like this, which is high speed, apply the leaning. Lean your body to the left. You're trying to load the outside tires, lean away from the corner.
Yeah.
And then just be flat on the gas. And remember, on exit, always look at the black barrier because you want to drive as if you're going to crash into it. Reason you want to do that is you want to use all of this runoff. You see, there's a bit of extra runoff until the white line. Use all of that. That's all of the track available. Maximize the exit speed. And then it's just a straight run up to the line. I think overall you displayed you got very smooth driving, number one, and you're able to adapt well. If you look at this last lap, it was a lot better than the first lap that you had. And a couple of key notes that you can remember for next time is threshold braking, right? So being hard on the brakes, bleed off quickly, get the rear end to step out. So you need to threshold brake for turn 1. You need to threshold brake for turn 2. Turn 3, interestingly, turn 3, we said you just need to be wider on the corner entry. So where this dotted white line is, stay there longer, stay on the dotted white line, and at the last moment, then turn in and cut across the track. Yeah, so late apex. Late apex also same for turn 1, and late apex as you're doing anyway for turn 2. Keep that up. The next part of the track we discussed, you did this part well, is the fast left, and then we came into again the left right, the chicane part, if it were. What's the first thing you're going to improve on over here?
Trying to brake later and try to have a later apex, I think.
Before that, what about your entry? What will you do with the entry?
Take as much space on the track as possible to go to the wide as possible.
Wide entry. You must go up to the white line over there. See, the wider you make the corner, the easier you're making it for yourself. As we said, go wide, deep into the corner. As you said, late apex. Stay at the left-hand side of the track now. Opens up the angle for the right. Hug that right, hug that to the right. Open up a little, maybe go in the middle, and now just start heading over to the right, just as you were doing. And you can easily reduce the meters like that.
Yeah.
I think you're doing the final part of the track absolutely spot on. I think this was a very good effort. Continue with braking at that broken asphalt, cut to the right-hand side, stay at the right-hand side, and then flick the cart to the left to take a late apex. You're doing that part really well. Keep it up. Final part of the track. It's not as tight as it looks overhead. You don't have to brake necessarily. But I'd say on entry, make the corner as wide as possible. Stay on the left. Lift. Lay the power back down. Prioritize the second apex to get close. And then all of the track on exit, for which should be a very, very quick lap. So those are the key improvements that you can hopefully apply next time. What's your feedback on that?
Well, mostly that's going to help me a lot because I figured my braking was the problem mostly, or at least one of my problems, and I didn't know where it was. So you were spot on that, and thank you a lot.
It's my pleasure. No, I'm really happy to go through the lap with you. And with braking, that's a common thing you'll find. At tracks, it's always about learning the line first, which I think you have a good understanding of. And the next thing is always the braking. How can I make the braking as efficient as possible? How can I gain time under braking? And sometimes, as you probably noticed from your footage, you're braking a bit too much. And that's normal. For your first time at a track, I'd rather you be cautious and a little, easy on the brakes because you don't want to overdo it. It's easy to go to a new track, push 100%, spin off, and then lose confidence. Karting is all about confidence. So now you've done some sessions, you've understood your line. Let's work on the braking, hard brakes. Get the rear end to step out a little. Be a bit more aggressive. That's what it is. You can afford to do that in these rental cars. If you could keep your braking late in the corners, hard period, but a short period, you can definitely gain time. I'm sure of that. When are you going to the track next?
So the race, the SWS race, is on on July the 7th, but
Awesome.
I'm trying to go again at it. I think in 2 weeks or before when I can actually. Next weekend I'll be a bit busy, but afterwards I will, and I will keep you updated on that because I'm really excited to go again.
Get your GoPro, charged. Take it with you in the next session.
Yeah.
And we'd love to review those new lines, updated lines with you in the next session then.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And I also like bought some gears, like
that's awesome.
suit and shoes and like something to protect my neck. So I'm pretty good at that. So yeah, thank you a lot.
Joining Ethan, and I'm happy you found the academy through the live stream. So were you subscribed to the channel already?
Oh yeah, I was subscribed a long time. I think a few months now, and because I've been practicing karting for like about a year and a half.
Awesome.
And I wanted to learn more, and I heard about the academy a few months ago, but I wasn't sure. And now that I'm starting to go in the more competitive part of karting, I don't have the money for own cards, so I'm going on SWS, and I'm trying to get myself into that. So I thought it would be a great idea. And so
SWS is one of the biggest rental car championships in the world. And if you can do really well, hopefully get more experience and maybe qualify for the world finals, at some stage, that's a very prestigious competition to be part of. I've actually got a video publishing soon where I talk about SWS being a budget friendly option for those who can't afford the owner karting but want to do something competitive. Because in SWS you get all the different countries entering a team, so it's very competitive. And I think even the local races at your track, there's top drivers there, so to win that and then do world finals is a big target, and with consistent practice you can get there.
Yeah, I'm trying and hoping so, and I'm trying my best too. And yeah, it's really great.
All the best, Ethan, and hope to have you on the session next time as well.
Yeah, thank you so much, and all the best to you too.
Thank you so much.
And do not go to sleep too late.
I'm gonna call it a night now. I'm gonna call it a night. It's 2:24 a.m.
God damn.
But, it's all about building the community, and we've had some fantastic people come on today. So I hope everyone enjoyed today's session. Shout out to Stevie for sticking it out as well.
Yeah.
And thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone who joined the live chat. We had a lot more interaction in the comments as well. Again, every Sunday, 6 p.m. GMT is where you can follow the session. Again, Academy, it's free to join. So if you want to come on, connect with different drivers from around the world, click the link in the pinned comment or the description and join for free today. That's the way it goes. Until next week, guys, we'll see you next time. Good night.
Good night, mate.
Good night.